What it do? What it do? Waiting for Brandon and maybe his cousin to come in and chit chat. Till then, I'll just be playing some Risk. We'll start researching a little bit. Do do do. Alright, let's just read this quick till they get here. Oh, I gotta fortify. A Trump appointed federal judge ruled Thursday that the president exceeded his authority by invoking the Aliens Enemies Act to summarily deport Venezuelan migrants, dealing a blow to the administration's deportation efforts and permanently barring such removal from in South Texas. In a 36-page ruling, U.S. Federal District Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr. in Brownsville, Texas, rejected President Trump's declaration that the United States was being invaded by a Venezuelan gang to justify using a centuries-old act to deport migrants without a hearing. He said the president's actions, quote, exceeds the scope of the statute. Trump signed a proclamation invoking the act in March to summarily, can't say that word, deport more than 130 immigrants to a mega prison in El Salvador, many from South Texas, and his officials have vowed to send more. But Rodriguez used the proclamation lacked evidence of an invasion, as was therefore unlawful. Of course it is. Lawyers for the plaintiffs says that the first decision permanently rejecting the administration's legal justification for using the act. The ruling applies only migrants detained in southeast Texas. In his ruling, Rodriguez wrote that the historical record renders clear that Trump's invocation of the act is contrary to the plain, ordinary meaning of the statute's terms. Well, of course, they're talking about like during wartime. It's a wartime act. It's not a fucking peacetime thing. The act is a broad power that may be deployed during a military invasion or organized incursion, but an invasion does not exist because an official has uttered certain magic words, quote, said the judge, borrowing language from another case. That's so funny. Hold on, let me make my move. Get my groove with my moves. Okay. The president cannot summarily declare that a foreign nation or government has threatened or perpetrated an invasion or predatory incursion on the United States, followed by the identification of the alien's enemies subject to detention or removal, Rodriguez wrote. Rodriguez blocked the administration from detaining, transferring, or deporting any detainee in southeast Texas who might be targeting under the act. The injunction does not prohibit the government from deporting someone under regular immigration laws, he wrote. Of course not. Because there's actual rules and regulations for this shit. You don't got to do silly stuff. Lawyers for the Venezuelan immigrants who filed the lawsuit in April to block the swift removal celebrated the decision. They have been scrambling to file legal challenges elsewhere in the United States, hoping for similar results. Federal judges in New York, Pennsylvania, and Colorado have issued temporary restraining orders blocking the administration from deporting immigrants under the wartime law in their judicial districts. but no judge has permanently barred the administration from removing migrants detained in the districts from being deported under the act. The decision importantly held that the Trump presidency cannot unilaterally declare that there's an invasion of the United States and invoke wartime authority during peacetime, said Lee Gallerant, an attorney with the ACLU who argued for behalf of the immigrants detained for the deportation. Congress never meant for this 18th century old law to be used in this manner. The Supreme Court in early April told the administration that it must give targeted detainees sufficient notice so they could challenge their removal in the jurisdictions where they are being held. Trump administration officials have continued trying to use the act. On April 19th, the High Court intervened again, issuing an extraordinary middle-of-the-night order to temporarily halt deportation of yet another group of migrants in Texas to El Salvador. The Supreme Court had not addressed the broader legal issue or question about whether Trump officials can legally invoke the wartime statute when lawyers for the migrants say the United States is not in a war with the gang Trinidad or any Venezuelan. Of course not. We're not. Because if we were, where's our military doing it? Where's the, but they're not. Well, especially now you don't want them to, because that's what they're trying to do. But the ACL is waiting for a response from the justices to have a request to ensure at least 30 days notice before deportation and to provide clear direction to lower courts on how to handle these cases. Sounds fair.
Yo, am I here? All right.
You got here now, brother. I'm just waiting for your cousin, I suppose. I'm finishing this article I'm reading about immigration. This judge shut down, as a Trump-appointed judge, shut down his immigration shit in South Texas. It was the name Fernandez Rodriguez Jr. Basically saying that Trump's overstepping his powers by trying to do the Aliens Enemies Act. Well, we're not in war with anybody. It's like that's not what the law was for. It was for when we're actually at war with somebody. You can use these powers. Let's see here. While this decision may not be binding on any federal courts, it is extremely detailed, well-reasoned, well-grounded in law, and hopefully other federal courts will consider it precedent, McCready said. It is unclear Thursday whether the judge's rulings would affect the Trump administration's posture towards using the act to deport immigrants. The government has sent other flights to El Salvador since the initial March 15th removal.
Oi.
What's up, my brother?
Oi.
But those deportations were not carried out under the Alien Enemies Act.
Playing last epoch. Gonna check out your Spriggan.
What up, my brother? Jeez, this is a long article. Cool.
Volcanic City. Ooh, yeah.
How was your day, Meech?
What, while you go smoke or something?
I'm right here. Oh, shit. Never mind. I didn't even notice my shit was on mute.
Oh, good job.
Also, I look like, oh, never mind. JK.
Yeah, and that gauge on the right, you see how it's going down? That's my rage.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I have a
Rage as
talent.
caster. Right, what is your class?
Oh, it's Druid.
Okay.
Oh, that's very
It's
Druish.
basically, these are...
That's very Druish of you.
Yeah, I went to Druid.
I fucking love Space
But-
Marines.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was from. Yeah.
That's what I was getting at, the Druish.
Yeah, no rage delay out of combat. So it's kind of like was like Grim Dawn and Titan's Quest with the whole passives.
Right.
And there's 3 different ones.
A lot of them, yeah.
Mitch, we got good news today. Recently, at 2:00 today, a judge appointed, a Trump-appointed judge in South Texas, told Judge Trump to basically fuck off, saying like you can't use the Aliens Enemies Act here. Like, it's unlawful. Like, the reason why this
Really?
act exists is not what, like, we're not in war with Venezuela. We're not in war with Trinidad. Like, you can't use these powers when we're not at war.
Yeah.
Basically, this is the whole
Yeah.
argument. He's like, you're overstepping your boundaries by trying to do all this shit. He's like, you can still kick people out. You just have to do it the legal way. Like,
Exactly.
if you do it the normalish way, yeah, by all means kick them out. But you can't just fucking grab and tag them. Fucking craziness.
No, you can't. That's fucking stupid.
Right.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah, the
There's
whole
a
problem
lizard.
is he quote unquote looks bad if he fucking changes his mind or if he fucking capitulates. That's the fucking problem with this guy.
oh, dude, I had. If you go on my
He's too
Facebook,
Yeah, it doesn't
obsessed
want to
with
seem like a backtracking pussy.
if you
Huh?
go, I was gonna say if you go on my Facebook, I was
He
arguing.
doesn't
with
want to
dude,
be a backtracking little pussy.
and it's one of those situations where, like, I try to tell him all about like here's the fallacies. I show him like a list of fallacies. He's like, oh, it's on. That's from Wikipedia, bro. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna show you a paper. You don't even read this. Why the fuck would I show you a paper you're not gonna read either?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And the thing is, I was like, even if this is Wikipedia, you say these fallacies don't even exist. Like that's the whole thing. Like these things exist either if they're on Wikipedia or not. Like you don't even know these words exist. You don't even have a concept of what these things are. So how the fuck are you gonna
Exactly.
tell me I'm stupid about it? It's like, and then I just started making fun of him. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
People be stupid.
Like I said, my
In
whole
case
thing,
if you didn't
The
know.
Wikipedia argument's so fucking dumb.
it is because
Like they don't even know about this shit, and they're like, "Ah, no, if I'm going to learn about this, like they don't want to learn it anyways."
that was my whole point. Like, why
That's
would
the
I?
thing.
That's what I try to tell them. Like, why would I send you a college paper or whatever when you're not gonna read it anyways? Like, like I'm trying to send you the simplest version of it so you can read it, maybe because it's simple and easy. Like, you won't even. But I know you're not even gonna read that.
Fallacies have been a thing since like fucking Greece.
Yeah, it's like
you
3,000
can't
years old.
even-
I know, but I'm saying because I'm saying like I'm trying to explain to him like you're just doing this. He's like,
You can't answer a simple question, like, dude.
oh, dude, he got pissed. I'm like, why are you running like a bitch? He's like, bro, I'll break your knee. I'm like, exactly, you're a fucking goon. You have no thought process. Like I. Right? She's like, you can't even pass a 7th grade basic civics test, which is probably fucking true. Like, I didn't even say the word. I just said this is what the
Yeah.
situation is. Like, think about when you fucking try to scare people into rounding up people and doing all these things. Aren't these? Is there a time in history where this kind of like coincides with answer that question? It's like, oh, like, oh. So I'm saying that's what I'm trying to get better at. Fucking just like instead of saying people want a king, like you want Trump's a king. Like, no, I'm gonna say you don't do this. So yeah.
Why am I getting so much lag? Probably because of the
Probably
nasty
streaming.
weather. I shouldn't even. But it's probably just because it's so fucking nasty out, I guess. All the moisture in the air is fucking with the Wi-Fi signal, I guess.
Right. And then, oh yeah, here's something that you should keep in your back pocket that I found out a couple weeks ago, which is, like in America, there was no immigration laws until 1924. Did you guys know that?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's 24. Yeah, that's what you said before.
1924. It's called the
Oh, yeah.
Johnson and Reed Act in 1924. It was the first time we put like numbers on how many immigrants we could take in and do whatever. Like, so like
Yeah.
my whole thing is when people always keep trying to say this bullshit argument of the Constitution is
Yeah,
written only
boy,
for American
squirrel.
people, and I go, it says no people, and they're like it's fully for American citizens. Like at the time, there was American citizens, but like anybody could come here. These rules apply to these people as well for fucking 150 years. Why the fuck do you think it would stop from the 20s now? Like it makes no sense. It's just the historical precedent kind of thing, which most people don't care about. Like, again, that's what shit's supposed to be.
No,
ran
they
on.
don't. They only care about what's convenient for their fucking purposes to fucking maintain their ideology, their tribal membership, their purity.
Yeah.
It's
It is quite sad.
literally all it is.
It's quite sad.
They just want to stay the same. That's it.
What's Patrick up to today?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let's see. I'll ask him.
I'll say maybe he wants to play some Brawl or something. If you say you want to talk and play Brawl, usually he's down. Doo-doo.
I want to play a different game.
Well, he mentioned a couple other ones. I guess I can't remember what he said. Not you.
We got what's that new fucking hero shooter?
Hmm?
What was that new hero shooter that you fucking recommended to me, Mitch?
Mm.
Oh, Frag Punk.
Okay, yeah. There's that. There's the Marvel one.
Did you see they fired fucking Mike Waltz just to rehire him as a U.S. ambassador? It's like, you fucking pieces of shit.
Really?
Yeah, because the Signal Gate, I guess they fired him like, you can't be this, but now you're just this. Like, oh, nice firing. Means nothing.
Yeah.
So stupid. Like,
Basically, just a little bit of a demotion.
well, yeah. Again,
Just lip service. That's all it really
yeah, it's
was.
just you. It's like I tell people, like, you guys can see corruption right in front of your face and you don't care. Like, it's so funny.
Because it's to own the libs.
Hmm. That's why I always tell this one dude and he's fucking trying to argue about dumb shit. I'm like, bro, you talk about corruption in this, and all these things are so horrible, but then I can show you where Trump literally extorted these two people, and you don't care. Like, you don't see a problem, and it's always whataboutism. Well, these people did. I'm like, oh, okay, even if they did, cool. Is that bad? Like, they just can never bite the bullet. Like, I'm always like, okay, that is bad, horrible, sure. Like, this dude yesterday was trying to get me and this dude to fucking, like, the people burning Tesla buildings and things are terrorists, right? We're like, sure, maybe sometimes. I don't even give a fuck. Like, what's the point? Like, can we just move on from the next point? You kept trying to just beat that point down. We're like, dude, we've already gone over this like 6 times.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, sure, we can say it is. That's not. I wouldn't recommend it. You can fucking send him to jail. Sure, whatever. What does that prove? That you guys are still fucking retards and doing whatever, right? Okay. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I'll even grant you your point. It makes no difference to me. It's like the other. That's my no. The last couple of days, all my arguments have just been circle. I'm like, finally, I told you today. I'm like, I'm just done. I can't go in circles anymore. Like, this is just boring and annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
like
it's
you're
literally just you're talking to like the same fucking
It just gets
person again and again and
monotonous.
again.
Well, like I said, it's fucking. This guy's trying to call me a retard about something that he has a literally. I'm like, you have no idea. How the fuck are you gonna call anybody a retard? It's like, it just blows my mind. Again, it comes down to people just humbling themselves. Like, dude, if you don't know something,
Yeah,
that's cool.
those-
Like, it's totally cool not to know something. But now I'm trying to give you like
Yeah.
the information. Like I said, just that simple. Like I said, just Wikipedia. If you really want to go balls deep, go for it. I'm not stopping you. Who the fuck is? You know, you want to learn every fucking fallacy and every little nook and cranny, go for it. I'm just trying to show you these things exist and you should know about them and see. I told them, like, yeah, what was I saying? I'm like, dude, you should read this paper or read this Wikipedia and fucking do a bingo game with yourself and pick how many you fucking got wrong or you did yourself just in this conversation and all the times we've ever talked. Like, I bet you got like 30 of these bitches.
dude. Yeah, people see like downgrading themselves in terms of like worth as like
Sure, that's the whole. But that, honestly,
progression.
you know the Dunning Kruger effect. That's what it is.
Of course. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. You think you're up
I don't
top
know, man.
and you have to fall down, but people are scared or don't want to fall down. It's like, no, but you
Yeah.
have to in order to
Like
grow.
confidence. They're avoiding that. I don't know if it's even confidence because then like everybody else in their fucking,
Bubble.
fucking social system or whatever the fuck has to be just as retarded, right? So it's like,
Uh-huh.
fear of moving away from them, and being judged.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're a fucking nerd now? You're fucking I know. It's fucking stupid, but they just the psychology, like they can't fucking work it in
No, I know.
without
You
feeling like there's some
nerd.
loss.
No, I was saying wow because I heard all these sirens last night when I was here, like whatever midnight or so, and then I'm reading this article now. It says there was a fucking murder suicide, not by my house, but like in Becker, which is like
Wow.
not that far.
Oh,
from me.
really?
Yeah, so it was probably like all the Elk River cops and woo, like because I said there was like sirens for like for way longer than normal because I don't live in that neighborhood. It's like, damn, dude, like they've been hearing sirens for like 20, 30 minutes, and now I'm reading this story about it.
Mentioned Chris Benoit last night, and somebody fucking Chris Benoit.
Basically, not the kids though. Wait, says homicide
They're not
case.
big
A murder between a father and daughter though. Ugh,
Oh, dude,
wasn't even a fucking wife
so
or whatever.
fucked.
I know, so stupid. I mean, again, and it comes down to I wonder who did it. I wonder. Before I read the whole article, do you think it was the girl that lost her mind or the guy?
Probably the
Do you
father.
think the kid lost her mind? Maybe like could it be like a fucking like the kid like dad fucking sold her off or not really sold her off, but like did something nefarious and she fucking lost her mind kind of situation, or it could be a fucking.
I mean, that'd be an interesting plot twist.
It would be. Well, I was gonna say something else, but it's not because it was a murder suicide. I was gonna say money, but it can't be because she's dead too. But never mind. And if the dad did it, why would the dad do it? She was a bad kid.
Maybe he fucking diddled her or something out, and he couldn't fucking take it. I don't know.
That's why that was my
Mm.
idea for her doing it. Honestly, like maybe he did something like that, or
Hell yeah, dude.
allowed something. Maybe he knew like his brother did it and didn't stop. You know, like could be a money like something like that.
Could be
Before I
something like
read it,
that, yeah,
let me see
for
here.
sure.
So the Sherburne County Sheriff.
Like,
claimed-
Yeah. I'm sure
Nope.
you've heard similar
The
stories.
reporter
to that.
states that Bruce Holbrook shot his daughter with a gunshot, found lying near her decaying body. After she was dead, officers believe he shot himself. Reported that he died of self-inflicted wounds. So it was a daddy. Daddy shot. Why would the
Goddamn,
dad?
dude.
Why would the dad shot? Oh no, he had Alzheimer's. He probably thought like this bitch was probably like
Mm.
breaking into his shit and just fucking blasted her. And then,
Oh,
and then when he,
shit.
and then when he came to, he was like, "Oh fuck, I killed my kid," and then killed him. I mean, it could be that. I'm not. Wouldn't be surprised, dude.
Yeah, that's
My buddy.
yeah, with Alzheimer's, yeah, that's
Yeah, my
Get the hell out of my house.
one of Brandon. Remember Vern yesterday that was here for a minute. Vernsky.
Yep.
Okay, that dude. His grandpa or his grandma had dementia, and would wake up in the middle of the night and beat the husband's ass all the time because she didn't know. You know, thought
God
there's a fucking
damn.
rapist in my room. You know, it got so bad where like after like 2 years of deal with it, he committed suicide. He couldn't deal with it anymore
wow.
because of fucking dealing with. You know what I'm saying, like, so like I've seen it firsthand from my buddies' lives. You know, like how serious this shit could be, dude. It's fucking crazy. Like I said, when someone's crazy like
I
that,
think we're
you just,
almost to the point we're curing it.
you think we're getting close to the cure in it?
I guess from everything I've been reading. I don't remember it exactly.
No, that's cool then, because that's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is.
Because like I said, yeah. So I mean, I'm saying without reading it more, I don't know if that's the case either again, but I'm just making up my fucking fake story in my head as I'm reading this little article so far. It says the daughter was allegedly exploring selling her father's cabin and recently changed some logistics of her father's trust. Ooh, she might have been still stealing money. On September 12th, the same day Jennifer last posted on Facebook, a family friend who allegedly spoke to the dad, who's 80 years old, about elder abuse concerns received a voicemail from the now deceased man, according to a search warrant application. In the voicemail,
That could also be a huge thing too, is elder abuse.
no, it could be that too. Like I said, I'm just making up my own stories. That's why I'm reading the rest of it to actually know the story. I'm like, what is the real story now? In a voicemail referred to in the search warrant, you can hear the dad allegedly say, "You were right about Jennifer all along," with Jennifer allegedly speaking in the background saying, "What are you telling everyone? I'm moving out." And the voicemail ends. Sherburne County investigators stopped looking into the potential exploration of Bruce Holcomb at the hands of the daughter because she is now dead. Oh shit. Authorities interviews
It's fucked up.
for sure. Authorities interviewing other potential suspects in the case alongside with tracking their cell phones according to the reports. These suspects were not near the house during the time of death. That's the so
I wish
yeah.
people could figure it the fuck out. I mean,
Well, yeah,
obviously that's a
dude,
thing,
like honestly,
but still,
it's bad enough to fucking steal from
Just
old
being
people.
greedy.
But yeah, stealing from old folks and then stealing from your parents or whatever you want to call it's got to be a little bit worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's bad enough stealing from
Which
old
is
folks
like,
just in general.
he's gonna be dead soon anyways.
I bet you that's probably was her
Yeah.
like moral justification. Yeah, for sure. He's only
Mhm.
got fucking 2
Yeah,
years
he
left. He's
doesn't
got
do anything
Alzheimer's.
with it. Yeah, he doesn't do anything with it. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't buy anything.
Thing is though, like I don't know, with like Micram and shit. Like if you have to go live in an old folks home, you got like 3 years before you lose your house because you go like $200,000-$300,000 in debt.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
That's fucking sad too. I always tell people there's got to be a better way to like not, like I guess like before your old folks go like crazy in dementia and shit, you should have them like sell the house to a kid or something for like $1 or something. Be like, my kid can have this house for like $2. So it's not in their name. So I guess, well, they know that. I don't know, that there has to be something like that. Got this shit loco.
You see some shit about Bill Gates. Who knows how reliable this is? Saying that there's like within like 10 years we're gonna have a 2-day work week
You know,
or some shit.
Mm.
So
well, yeah, because they're all banking on
Not
robots
for
taking over.
cooks.
yeah, we gotta.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Honestly, robots could probably do
figure
anything.
out-
Damn, make
yeah,
a robot
dude.
cook.
Because I'm saying
We gotta figure all this shit out.
I've seen robotic
'Cause-
bartenders and shit. So
We're
like,
moving
this
too
shit-
slow.
Well, just honestly, us
Well, the
as
government's moving too
humans,
slow.
us as humans want
What?
to fuck. So if a robot can do it, we want the robot to do it, right? Because it's easier, better, faster, more efficient.
It's kind of like a waste of, dude. It's like we don't. I don't know. Like I was trying to say, like we're doing like twice as much work as we fucking need to. We don't need fucking robots. We need to fucking figure out a fucking better system, a fucking
Well,
better way of
kind of, but you also need
organizing
we
human
we,
labor,
we need
fucking
and want things.
production.
So you need robots probably to do the production, like all like not manually, like instead of having dude fucking pick shit, why don't you have a robot do it? You know, I don't know. It's a moral question of when do you get to the point where like robots like you treat them like sentient beings per se. Like that's a different kind of conversation, but
When they become
Right.
sex
I mean, all we're
dolls.
doing is creating problems for ourselves. That's all we're doing. It's future problems. That's what's going to be.
kinda. You are kind
And
of
we're also going to be like less occupied.
well. The thing is, again, so like in a perfect way,
But
like,
in a-
if we had robots take over the world or not, like jobs and shit, that would leave more time for people to be them true for the real true selves and shit. You know, like there is a good out of it that could possibly happen.
Right, there's that, but then there's like less, reason to be out in the world.
Yes.
We're gonna have to like
Oh, I know.
fucking, I don't. There's
It's like
so much
anything. There's
more
a
to it.
double-edged sword. It could be good or bad. Just depends on how people use it and how like we as society use it going forward. Because it could be one of the best things in the fucking world. It could be one of the worst things in the world too. I mean, like it can be. I can't say it can't. You know. I just try to always remember that every time humans thought that technology was going to ruin their fucking lives, it never has before. So
Yeah,
why would it
that's
now?
true.
That's what I always try to tell people. Like I tell my nephews and stuff because they're always worried about this shit. And I'm like,
That's
you're right.
debatable. There's a lot debatable.
What?
About
There
that.
comes a certain limit, though.
Well, I'm saying like what like there's all of our technology besides like war
like we're
shit.
separated from each other essentially. Like
it-
But it becomes like Wally.
you're always around people. You're always around people. Like you're different. Like
no, I get that.
other people aren't.
No, and I understand that, but I will say like so if
People
You're in a social
don't
environment.
need companionship.
yeah,
They need to be isolated and studied so it may determine if they have any new nutrients that we may use for our personal use.
well, like I said, you are
That's what we need to do.
you are
with
right,
old
but
people.
also if you are like a super introvert and you can't hang out with people, also the internet gives you a chance to maybe not like physical touching, but at least you can talk to people and open yourself up to like a
It
real
does.
person. So I mean, like again, it has its goods and bads. And again, it
Will
comes,
yourself too.
it comes, well, for sure. Like I said, it really just comes down to who's using it, who's the operator of this. Basically, all these things are just tools. They're just tools in a fucking toolbox. Who's using it and why? That determines if it's a bad tool or a good tool, I suppose. You know.
I mean,
It's an
just
excellent tool.
look at global warming. We've got, we got this, and then we got, we got global warming, and we got a bunch of idiots who can't even
Again, because they're
fucking examine the evidence
I
to
know.
fucking decide if it's
that's the
actually
real
happening,
question. Why
you
we
know?
have stupid people that don't do that? Like that is that's the crux of the position. Like we got to figure that out. If anybody could truly figure that out,
Mhm.
that'd be one of the greatest breakthroughs ever to solve fucking basically misinformation to the max. Like I said,
Oh yeah.
dude. Like I said, dude, if people just treated,
I don't know
like,
if it's like not solved. It's just that we can't fucking implement the solutions. We can't jam it down their throat.
no. It's not about the
there's no-
information, but it's about why do people fall for conspiracies and that flawed thinking.
Right,
Like
but you have to teach them how to think. That's
True.
the solution.
it is a lot of it. Yes.
Like, and it's
It's
like we were
almost
talking
impossible.
earlier. Like these guys need this confidence, this belief that they're superior, or they need to fit within their tribe. You know, they
Yeah.
can't.
It's a
They're
lot of
too
things.
afraid to deviate. You know, even though you can find new fucking people to hang out with, like you can find a
Mhm.
new tribe, but they don't realize this.
True.
They're just
Dude, but we're creatures
ensnared
of
by
habits.
fear. They don't even realize it.
Yep, creatures of habit. Because we know this person, we're comfortable with this person, therefore we're gonna stay with said person. I mean, it's the same reason why
Yeah.
people stay in shitty relationships, all that kind of shit. You know.
Well, people don't have the resilience to be alone,
No, and honestly,
I
or
do.
we're not.
or even
The thing is, we're not supposed to be
even
alone.
the
It's
like
fine,
habits.
but like you should
Not
like
supposed to, but
no, but I
if
get it.
that's what you gotta do to grow, that's what you
Sometimes-
gotta do.
Well, I always say I got lucky. So like my mom always told us as kids and stuff, like you should have loved alone time and hang out by yourself. Like instead of hating it or whatever, you should learn to embrace it and like it because it's gonna happen more times than you never want. You know, kind of thing throughout life.
That just happens. It's a part of life.
Mhm.
That's part of the problem. We're always comparing ourselves to others. We always see, oh, this happy couple together, but we don't think about,
The fighting,
you know,
yeah,
if they're
everything.
fighting or
Yeah.
any of that shit. You know, we don't think about any of the negative sides. It's just
Well, also,
Oh, I do.
yeah,
notion of right, of course, but
in general. Well, I'm saying so
Because
like,
it's
that's like
me.
envy. That's how envy works. You see somebody with some good thing, you don't think about the negatives.
dude, it's Facebook. Think about Facebook. How many times
Somebody with
how
something
many
you
times
got.
you see
Or
Facebook
you don't got.
pictures where people are fighting or arguing or whatever? You only see all the
Never,
lovey-dovey
never.
pictures or all the you know, like you don't see because that's the thing. Even like when you go out in public, dude, there's obviously
Illusion.
there's a different you when you go out to public than you in real life or like you yourself or whatever you want to call it. You know, like because you have to like and it's good and bad to put your little fucking game face on to say like, yep, that's the way it is. You know, or but no, not too many people get to ever see the actual like true version of yourself. Right, baby? Okay. Yeah.
Next up is
What is 360?
I don't know. We are still a young species, and we are very confused about
Mhm.
the mind.
Oh yeah.
And growth and all that shit. It's not common wisdom, really.
No, again, so like what? We've been around for like
It's
100,000,
people
200,000
are
years.
prone to conform. They're still prone to conform. You know, like the stuff that's required for growth. Like growth kind of demands leaving your fucking old friends behind. Like unfortunately, usually because they want to stay the same or they want to grow similar way. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had a lot of friends where I don't hang out with them nearly ever, like pretty much ever, unless it's random. You know.
Like I don't hang out with my other friends because they're like they don't want to talk about anything but video games or streamers or what they
Yeah.
do that day. They don't want to talk about
Actual
you know,
like intelligent things
like
or whatever.
I wanted to make a game, you know, and I talk about like I have like an idea or whatever. I talk about it, and then they get fucking like annoyed. You can tell they're annoyed. Like
Mhm.
it's like, dude, have some fucking balls. Fucking branch out a little bit. Fucking
Yep.
let your brain roam.
Yep.
Fucking
Impossible.
use your abilities.
Impossible. Yeah, I know.
You know, instead of actually doing their own thinking or whatever, they'll fucking like watch Asmongold or some shit. You know, some streamer and
I know.
get their opinions. And it's like.
Yeah,
You realize you're the same kind of fucking creatures. You got the same device that they have, you know,
especially like someone like him. 'Cause
takes
he's not
their,
even
like-
smart. Like
superior to yours.
the thing is, like,
Well, right, yeah.
most streamers are usually garbage. There's a few
They're
that
just-
are good, but in general, most of them, like I said, they don't put the time in. You don't like read things and take time to actually learn
It's
things.
confidence, you know, like that's all. It's overconfidence.
It's confidence, and usually, honestly, it takes just being funny. Like someone finds you funny, they share your shit,
Mhm.
and they shares, and then you talk about real shit later, you know, or whatever. But like people like that, dude, like honestly, most of these people are gamers and shit, and then they get into politics later. So it's like that's not even like their niche. Their niche is video gaming or whatever the fuck it is, you know.
Yeah, it becomes more. Yeah, they become like this whole entertainer to fucking public office stream is just
Oh, I
fucking
know.
ridiculous.
Like I said, I watch a lot of Destiny and shit, and he always talks about. He's like, I just look at Trump as a content creator. He's like, if you look at him as a content creator, all of his decisions makes a lot more sense, and it's so true in its sense because it's like,
Yeah,
all he wants is all the people to watch him and love him and clicks and views and stuff, you know.
that is it. Yeah,
He's like, guess what?
What
Everybody
did he
talk-
say to that one guy that was interviewing him? Like, he's like, I gave you this opportunity. I don't know your name, frankly, or whatever.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
just
know what
picked
he's
you because I
saying,
didn't
but,
know your
like,
name. Yeah, that shit.
yeah.
He's like, you were just a loser. I just picked you because you're the biggest loser. So,
he was like, in that moment, he was feeling dumb, and then he said that to make himself
well,
look
yeah,
better.
because whenever
It's
he's
so
whenever
fucking,
he knows
it's
he's wrong,
transparent. It's easy to see, but
I
you
know
can't
this.
fucking jam that fact down people's throat because they can't make that fucking connection. They
Well,
just
because they
can't
think
see
it's
it.
owning the lips. Like, oh, see how base it was, how funny it was. Like, dude, you know that's his defense mechanism when he's fucking
Yeah.
he's losing this argument because he knows he's wrong. He goes, "You're a liar. You're a cheat. You're a thief. You're a rapist." You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
always
fake
attacks.
news.
It's always attacks instead of just being like, "Huh, maybe I am stupid." Like, that's never the option, right?
Yep.
That's why I always say,
Never
like,
the option.
when everyone's like, everyone keeps calling Trump this,
Suicide
like,
to him.
it's like, at what point do you think everybody's just lying to you? Like, or is it possible that maybe he is the monster that everyone's trying to warn you about? I don't know. Like, at what point do you go, everybody's saying this? They're probably not all wrong. I'm not
Just
saying,
'cause they
like, some
hate
people over
the
embellish it maybe
liberals.
to an extent, but still, like, it's still a fucking big deal. This whole fucking no due process thing blows my mind. It's like, how the fuck do you guys think I always tell people, like, now I'm just like, dude, you guys are un-American as shit. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Like, you guys are not American at all, because this is not what Americans
Yeah,
are supposed
don't
to
even
say.
fucking call yourself. Yeah, don't even call yourself a fucking American.
That's what I just started doing. They're like, you're un-American. You want rapists and thieves. I'm like, well, now you're saying that all these people are rapists and thieves. I'm like, oh, so these white people over here that did it, should they go to jail and be deported and shit because they're rapists and thieves? Oh, why? Because they're white? Like, what's the difference? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
You
this
can't have your
shit.
cake. You can't have your
Dude,
cake
this
and
is
eat it
like
too.
basic. This is just basic shit. That's all it is. It's basic. How do you think? How do you think correctly? That's it. That's all it
A
is.
lot of it is, yes.
That's the only problem they got.
And they don't want to, and I don't know why.
The
And
psychological
like I said,
aspect.
that's
It
why I
is the psychological shit.
it is
Yeah.
mostly, like I said, that's why I started clowning dude at the end. I'm like, dude, I try to give you the answers. If you don't want to, now you're just being willfully ignorant. Now I just don't care. Like, you're a fucking retard.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, like, if I told you, like I said, if you wanted to grow and learn, like, if I showed you something and you actually like learn from it, we could be cool, and we could disagree, and I can talk to you. But it's like, now I try to give you the answer to the quest, and you're like, I'm still just gonna wing it and guess. Like, why would you fucking wing it and guess when I can show you the answers of the test? Like, it makes no sense. I don't know. If I had a teacher, dude, somebody give me fucking all the answers, I would just study the answers. That's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Oh hell.
Doo doo. Patrick thinks we have vampires today? Must be a different kind. Must be like a metaphorical vampire.
I think he's talking about the whole conspiracy theory that Democrats, like Democrat politicians, would drink the blood of fucking babies.
Yeah, the fucking adrenochrome. I mean, I used to think all that shit too. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand it because I used to think like stupid shit like that too. But then once I started learning about how to actually be smart, then I got away from like, oh, I'm just saying this.
People that are confident about shit that you don't have expertise in is
Yep.
people that you believe. Essentially, that's how it works.
Well, yeah. Again, when you listen to people that talk about it 24/7 too, or whatever, like when your main news is somebody fucking feeding you this bullshit lies, well, it's easy to believe because that's what you hear. Doo doo. Dun 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 dun. What baby? Yeah, the adrenochrome and the young kids make you skin look good and shit. I remember doing all that shit.
Yeah.
I remember all those stupid things. Like I said, at some point you just got to be like, okay, what's more likely? Occam's razor. What is more likely?
I mean, if you don't get yourself out of that fucking ideology and like all of its conspiracy theories that are made up just to fucking
Play off your fears.
justify it, this
Well, that's the whole thing. It's all fear-based shit. It's all fucking.
it is.
You need to be scared of this thing because these people are doing this. Therefore, listen to me and I'll help you get free. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much most of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because they don't have the facts on their side, so now they have to make up bullshit.
Well, the thing is, also they're master manipulators of cherry picking things. I'm like, oh, blood does do this. Okay, but how many people are like taking the time to like synthesize it and do this to get it to be there? It's a lot of money, right? And a lot of all this other shit. Like
A lot of people involved, a lot of
Yep.
whistleblowers, and
I know. So that's why I always tell people, especially in today's world, like everybody has like smartphones that can watch all your shit. Like all this record and all this shit. It's like this isn't the fucking 60s. You know why conspiracies probably happened in the 60s more? Because they didn't have all this shit. you know? It's kind of like miracle claims. Isn't it weird that technology got better and miracles dropped? Like isn't it weird that we have all this technology and conspiracies aren't being like just called out 24/7 because people could call it out 24/7?
yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. There is things
I don't
for
know.
like
Does
money and
everybody
power.
reach like a critical mass where they fucking realize eventually, like, oh, all my beliefs are bullshit? I don't know.
It's tough.
Like, there's gonna be a point where they just kind of stop growing, right? Like, I don't know. And then they look around, they're like, dude, I'm kind of retarded. Like that's what I'm saying. Kind of like is what it's gonna take is like practicing like our intelligence to like the nth fucking degree, and then get these people to look around and be like, dude, I'm kind of fucking retarded. I'm fucking hanging around with retards. I'm keeping myself fucking retarded for what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, like I said, the whole thing is like people need to stop being like, oh, somebody sent me information that I don't know. Just read it or learn it. Like stop thinking that you know more than them, even though they're sending
Well,
you
the
something you don't
problem
know.
is they don't look at you as just a person. They look at you as a liberal. That's
Oh, for
what
sure.
it is.
I know. That's part of it.
And like the guy I was arguing with yesterday. Actually, I didn't even argue with him. I kind of just fucking wrecked him. He didn't even come back. I think he was just too ashamed. Which is I fucking love that when they aren't fucking constantly talking back and forth, making up bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. That's
Yeah.
a fucking relief. I don't like doing that fucking work.
I
And I probably won't ever. I don't know how much of that I'm gonna do again because it's just too much fucking work for what? What does it?
For
What does it do
nothing.
for me?
Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Once I find out someone's not in good faith, like it's all about being. If you're coming with me in good faith, then I can actually have a conversation. Like we can argue, talk, whatever. Like, but once I see like you're just being bad, like I said, you don't. The thing is, like I was telling the dude, you don't even know what bad faith means. Like, so when I say you're being bad faith, you literally just sit there and go, "What? Oh, okay."
Well, it's like like the guy I was talking to yesterday. Like more or less, he believes he's more intelligent by default.
Mhm.
So he thinks his opinions are just more right because he's more smarter. He's I'm
The,
more smart than these people.
the thing
Like
is,
that's
honestly,
just
is like even if you are
that's his logic,
naturally, you might be naturally smarter. Like you might have a higher like base IQ. It doesn't mean
right?
you're
But
actually gonna be
it's
smarter in life.
you need your opinions have to cohere to reality. You have to
True. That's what I'm saying. Like it
have
doesn't.
some.
Even if you are the smartest person, it doesn't mean you're
It's a
gonna be the
functional
smartest person.
thing.
You just start off higher. You just had a higher base to start after. Then everyone caught up.
Yeah.
It's like in a sports world. Like if you're the best 8th grade high schooler in the world and you stay there forever, and now all these people catch up to you. Now you're like the 60th best player. Like what happened? I didn't get worse. They just got better. Like
Right. They just settle. And that's
yes, that's a big thing.
That's
Settling.
very stupid.
Yep.
But yeah, like essentialism is like the view that people have a particular essence that they're born with, and then existentialism is the view that, the exact phrasing is existence precedes essence. So it basically means that we find out our essence as we live throughout our lives, as we become, as we experience things, as we make choices. And I think essentialism is it's everywhere, like it's in job interviews, it's it's in mating decisions, it's in all this shit. But there's an underlying psychology that is actually responsible for what essence we end up with, or what knowledge or abilities or emotional states we arrive at, right? It's just that is like essentialism is the view that is there when we're not considering what is actually going on under the surface. We're not looking for the causal fucking
chain, or whatever you want to call it.
What would be the right word for it? Sort of like a like an apparatus, or what's another word for it? Or just mechanisms. Dude, substrate, like a substrate. But yeah, like if you don't have like a naturalistic worldview, the conception that the world is a collection of processes, you're just, that's where you're gonna lack even the ability to judge what you do or don't know. Everything just everything comes down to what you can
It comes down
learn
honestly,
from others, and
you need to have
you
some.
can't even inquire on your own.
You got to
if
have
you don't
epistemology.
have
That's the big thing. Like if you don't have no
like a
epistemology, how the
metaphysics.
fuck are you gonna actually know what you know?
Right. Well, epistemology, yeah, epistemology, metaphysics, or ontology, I should say. Like those are the two wings of.
Like I said, the big one is
metaphysics,
because, like I said, like I said, that's what I try to be like. People say they know things, and then when you go,
Well, I'm
how
talking
do you?
about like categories of being, though. Like, so you need the categories of being in the sense of, know what causality is. Like what all substances exist. Like, so that's something you get through epistemological processes. But yeah, I mean, epistemology is important. Yes.
Well, I'm saying
I think that epistemology is more important for mediating between ideologies, but that's
correct. That's what I put. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like,
yeah,
people say they know. Like I'm saying, when people say they know there's vampires and shit, how do you actually fucking know? Like, can you show me anything?
right. So you can explain that psychologically with like, oh, I want cool things to exist, right? Is essentially what that comes down to. So like whenever psychology interferes with, either any epistemological process, whether that's abduction, which involves conjecture, or deduction or induction,
Induction, yeah.
If psychology interferes, stuff that isn't even related to the realm of inquiry, then or whatever, you know what I'm saying? If there's a reason outside of the knowledge in itself that seeps into the process, then that's where we have problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems.
Yep.
Like I said, to me, the simple one is people need to know how if you're gonna make the claim, like I said, that too. Like these idiots don't understand. Like, you make the claim, bro. You need to back it up. Why the fuck are you asking me to back up your claim or disprove your claim? Like, that's not how it works, homie. It's really not.
I'll try to work on just some sort of collection of mindsets and problems that go into this. Let me see. Where's a good place to fucking put this shit? Yeah, like identity is a problem too. Like, oh, I'm a fucking car guy, or I'm a this or that guy. I'm not a smart guy. I'm not a nerd. It's like, dude, it's not about what you enjoy. It's not what the fucking niche you're trying to fulfill. It's about, knowing it's because these are pragmatic facts. That,
Mm-hmm.
it's pragmatic knowledge. So you have to be concerned about how you're voting or whatever based on what's actually true.
Yeah, that's
or
why.
not even just voting, but like
Yeah, well,
what you
that's why I made the point to
present as true
Brandon's thing. I'm
in discourse.
like I get like we have the individual rights and all that stuff, and that's cool. But like we also have a bigger goal to society, right? Like, don't we? That's part of what we need to understand. That's a societal thing. If society's better, therefore I'm just gonna end up being better because everybody's doing better. Like it's not really that hard, people. Like I said, if my neighbor's doing good, probably I'm doing good.
Really not.
Like all
Not
that
hard at
all that
all.
kind of stuff.
A better society for all is a better society for all.
That's what I'm saying. It's the we versus me. Like I understand there is always going to be a me. There's always going to be your ego and whatever. Like that, I get that. I'm not saying you got to get rid of all of it, but like when you start thinking about like the policies and things like that, stop thinking about like because I always hear people say like, "Well, my taxes were down." Like, cool, but what about like the other 349 million people? What about their lives? If your life is better and everybody else's is worse, don't you feel kind of a little bad, or whatever, some kind of moral something? I don't know. I do not know.
My eyes are starting to boing.
Your eyes are blinking.
So you're going outside to smoke?
Well, I'm in the camper now, so yeah.
Yeah. So
Fucking,
yeah,
it's so
the
stupid.
smoke fucking builds up and then you.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. So I wanted to play some zombies when I got home,
Mm-hmm.
and found out that they released Modern Warfare 2. So they were trying to install Modern Warfare 2 on there. It's like, cool, but I want to play now. So I went into the options to select which ones, and deselected it. It's like still like 16 gigs. I go to hit, all right, just cancel the update. Fucking uninstall the entire game. I'm like, you dick.
Right.
It's like, god damn it! I wanted to, because I got the freaking breaded 92 maxed out, because apparently that's like one of the best guns akimbo when you got it akimboed for zombies. It's like, okay, I'll run around with akimbo pistols, be a badass, John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the zombies is pretty fun though for Modern Warfare.
Yeah. I'm trying to read about
it's the open
Ukrainian
world.
the minerals deal. It says the agreement which the Ukrainian parliament must ratify would establish a reconstruction fund for Ukraine that Ukrainian officials hope would be the vehicle to ensure future American military assistance. A previous agreement was nearly signed before the big derailed tense Oval Office meeting, but like apparently this one's a much better version of the deal for Ukraine. They're saying.
Well, at least that's good. At least.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
I don't have multi shot. I don't.
Well,
give a
again,
fuck.
before we were just trying to rape them. Before it was like, hey, we're gonna take your shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do about it, bitch?
And now it's like, fine. But it does make sense to have some of the minerals ours if we're going to be helping them, since it's right there and we can construct it. Like,
no, the whole thing is
we have them right there.
all they wanted was military aid. They would have signed it earlier, as long as if they would have said, hey, we're gonna give you military aid if Russia attacks. If they'd have ever made that, I think that's all he wanted.
And now we're doing that.
We might. Well, we agree to the deal. It depends on if fucking Putin signs a deal or not, whatever the fuck it is. But again, does this mean we're gonna start sending troops or just military or money? I don't know.
No.
It doesn't really give you the full scale of the actual deal. It just tells you a little. It just says that it's better. This version was much better than the one they got 3 months ago and shit.
Oh, that's good. At least.
But, yeah.
It's just such a fucking broken ass class.
Earth is cooling far faster than we thought.
Earth is cooling.
Discovered that Bridgmanite. Yeah, the core. Yeah,
the core of the Earth?
core, I guess. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
losing heat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's cooling. Yeah.
Hey man.
Yeah, I've read about that for years.
That's cooling or cooling faster.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's still cool though. I mean, I guess nature's trying to fucking fight back against us.
Like, get the fuck out, like a fucking big bird trying to,
It's like
the
it's a
birds out
fever.
of the nest.
It has a fever right now.
All
Or
right,
wait, no, that
here
would
you
be
go.
heating.
Says
I'm an idiot.
this deal does not include
Oh, you're good.
resources that are already a source of revenue for the Ukrainian state. In other words, any profit under the deal are
Okay.
dependent on the success of the new investments. Ukrainian officials also
Okay.
noted that it does not refer to any debt obligations for Kyiv, meaning profits from the fund will likely not go towards paying the U.S. back from its previous support. Okay. Officials also emphasize that the deal ensures
That's fair.
full ownership of resources remains with Ukraine, and the state will determine what can be extracted and where. So they get to have more say on like what they're taking and how. That's good, I suppose.
That's fucking cool.
Hmm. It does
Yeah.
not mention any explicit security guarantees. Oh, well, that sucks. We didn't give them any explicit ones.
Oh, so they can just come in and
We gave them fake ass ones like, "Hey, we might help you."
suck my dick with those goddamn things. Ballistas. There we go.
Ballista.
Ballistas.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mister,
the
I
enemy was
seen
spotting
your
ballistas.
ballista.
It's funny, my resistance is at 75%, max of 75. It can go over, but it doesn't matter. 75 for fire, 75 for lightning, 75 for cold, 75 for physical, 57 for poison, 56 for narcotic, and 0 for void, because you barely ever run into void. And my armor is at 42%. Out of 70? Yeah, 70.
Dude,
So yeah, I'm pretty fucking tanky.
Marco Rubio has 4
Oh,
titles now because they fired one dude. He's got national security, Secretary of State. This. He's got like 4 different jobs in the fucking government right now. That's crazy.
Gross. That should not. No.
It's the first time since Henry.
That's
Kissinger.
too much power for one person.
Yeah, first time since Henry Kissinger
God
with
damn.
Really?
with what's his name, Nixon.
Yeah. Oh, eat my paint. Yeah, you freeze, you bitch.
Ziggy.
Oh, Suki Atumi,
So
baby.
Biggie
body.
Stardust.
What's your buddy? How are ya?
I want to get Burb.
They found 3 bodies in the Missouri River
Bird is
today. Crazy.
probably.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
3
sad.
3 girls. They think there's 3 girls that died or were missing like a few months ago fishing, and they think it's probably the same chicks, which makes sense.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh. Circle of life.
I don't know. I don't know if it's straight
what I'll
stupidity, a
say
big
when Mitch
storm,
dies.
or whatever.
The perfect storm.
Oh, who knows? That's a good question.
Goddamn motherfucking
People
leg.
die every day.
They do.
The garage is open.
The thing is, almost every
I
day
need
people
all the
die, and you have no
glisteners.
clue who they are. That's the thing. That's why nobody cares more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if somebody you knew
It's fucked up,
died
you know,
every
like,
day, you
yeah.
fucking lose your shit.
Like somebody you know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying if someone you knew died every day.
Yeah, I know. The world's just so many fucking people. Like it's just
There's
you
so
know,
many people.
and you
for
can't.
sure.
You obviously just can't. You can't be bothered by every.
Well, also you
statistical
probably can't mentally
occurrence.
handle fucking dealing with grief every day. I mean, like that'd be devastating to your mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Honestly, it's probably why it's hard to be a soldier and shit. Like those, when you talk about all that shit, because you got to watch people die and shit every day. That's gotta be fucking
Right.
tough, especially like real war shit, like World War II and World War One.
Oh, yeah.
Bodies flying everywhere
Brutality.
from like
Mhm.
mortar blasts and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, no, where's boom? Somebody's fucking head just gets blown in pieces. Just
Yeah.
ringing, that's all you hear.
Yeah, I'm saying all that shit. That, like I said, mentally we're not supposed to fucking deal with that. Not in that level. And as I said, dealing with it over and over is crazy.
I can't wait till
Dude,
humanity gets its
Trump's
shit
trying to have
together.
6,600 soldiers do a fucking birthday parade for him on his birthday. Fucking Hitler. Like, who was the last
Yeah.
president? Has any president ever had a fucking military parade in America? Now I'm gonna look this up. I can't imagine. I
Yeah,
can't
he's a narcissist.
I
I don't know. Like, there's just no,
Yeah.
there's no
has
two ways about it.
any president
And
ever in America.
how many conservatives are narcissists? I wonder. Probably a lot.
Yeah, most of them.
If not, just, well, I mean, come on. Like, politics is like a part of everything, kind of. So
It is. That's why it's important to me, because it is. Because if
Yeah.
you know someone's politics, you can
Literally
kind of
everything
know what kind of
is
person they
political.
are. You know a lot about a person. Not everything,
Yeah.
but a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up because it's kind of true. Like, it's kind of stereotyping people, but sadly, you're.
It's just it's stereotypes. They exist for a reason, and most part they are true.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah.
everything, but mostly.
On that same note, we can't interact
Yeah.
on people just on ideological grounds.
Yeah.
Like,
No, fuck
'cause
that.
we have to be able to be good to everybody, you know.
True.
Because,
No, that's why you
that,
can't.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you can't like just fucking like fight them.
that
Like,
helps the political.
That's why.
shit.
Well, that's true too. But that's why you got to try to win the ideology. Like you have to
that
win.
contribute well
You have to win the mind. If you
system.
don't win the mind,
Yeah.
you
Hearts
don't
and
win.
minds.
That's always the key. If you don't win the mind of
Yeah,
somebody,
you gotta
can't.
win the outliers. Yeah,
Mhm.
You gotta win the Vajay.
The Vajay.
Yep.
And he wants
Well, I
tanks
mean, I
there.
guess the
Jesus
conservatives
Christ.
are like particularly
Really?
Mm-hmm.
like victims or whatever. I can't say
JFK in
victims, but they're-
1961 in his inauguration had dozens of missiles and military people at his shit.
Well, to be fair, that was the Cold War, so he had to kind of throw that on a little bit.
I mean, so that was the last time.
You know. Yeah.
I wonder how much money
Dude, there was
is
800,000
to
people.
send
Went,
Trump golfing.
I looked it up yesterday. He's golfed, what was it? Basically a fourth of the days that he's been in office. So about 26,
Good
7
fucking
times.
God.
Really?
Yeah, out of all the days.
Oh,
he's
I'm
been in
not even
office.
fucking surprised.
No, wasting taxpayer money, man. Get a fucking golf simulator, man.
thing is,
be a fucking like
honestly,
if
the
you were
thing
actually
is, I
about
don't e-
fucking
yeah.
saving money. that's
I
what
don't
you
really
do.
care to an extent like that, but it's funny because because you see all the clips of him going, Obama just spends all of his days golfing, doing this. Like,
Yeah.
dude, now you're a lying piece of shit. Like I said, normally I wouldn't give a fuck, but if you're gonna throw it in someone else's face, fuck the fuck off. You don't get no sympathy.
Eat my code.
Pretty fucking much.
Oh, dude, the way I fucking see it is like the left wingers are getting smarter on like every aspect. Like they got, well, other than the ones that are, the actual Democrat ideologues, but like
Yeah.
people on the left are getting
the
smarter in
dinosaurs.
every aspect. They're like, they're becoming. They're actually developing themselves. They're identifying
Yeah.
their shortcomings. They're figuring out how to overcome them. Like they're thinking about their flaws, and that's going to lead to more success in other areas of life. And these conservatives aren't doing that, and it's almost unbelievable to me the shit that I see on
I know.
right wing media. That
It is fucking
it's
nuts.
just how stupid and how much
Well,
they
yeah, the
suck this guy's
conservatives
dick. I couldn't possibly
same.
see myself ever
But again, the thing is, when it's like you're saying,
verbally blowing some
yeah,
idiot.
But I know, but the thing is, like you're saying,
Yeah, I never did that with Camila.
No, but the thing is, if you listen to only this, like I said, for 24 hours a day, it's on every network. It's on,
Yeah.
and the thing is, when you're on right wing media, you don't actually ever like change. It's always fucking everybody, every show. Ben Shapiro, they all pretty much lockstep agree with everybody, and that's why it becomes.
Yeah, it's the same exact. You've seen one of them, you've seen all of them.
Yeah, I'm saying that's the
All
cult
fucking
mentality.
day.
Because they have. Well, also because if you don't follow Trump, you don't have money. Like he'll tell everyone to fucking fuck you off, and you'll never have a job again, all that kind of shit. Like it's fucked up because that's how much power he has.
Yep.
So
I don't know, man. Is this the tip of the
I'm pretty sure it is.
dialectic fucking thing? Is this the climax? I don't know.
I
The
don't know either.
conflict between two sides. The end of our, because like, I mean, how much more absurd can they get? Like without
Very.
committing Sudoku. You know,
Oh, dude, I mean,
like,
dude, I
oh,
No,
Trump has
that's-
died. I want to be
Good.
with him.
well, like, I already told you, dude.
Good, join him.
I told you, fucking,
Yeah.
there. If Trump dies anyway, even if he just died of, like a stroke tomorrow, there's no right winger that would agree that's how it happened. There'd be the most conspiracies of all time about how he
for
truly
sure.
died.
Oh yeah.
Like he didn't die; they killed him. You know how I know they killed him? Because he dropped on
See,
the floor. Like,
the funny thing
okay.
is, they're not even thinking about this because they can't. They can't fucking forecast this shit.
Well, again,
they can't even
he's fucking 80,
conceive
dude.
of what's going to happen when he dies.
Oh, I know.
Whether
They
they
Oh,
can't
I
even
know.
conceive of this shit because they're so locked into like the moment and their fears and
Mhm.
how they're being looked at. Like they're just like the most insecure fucking little shits. I swear to fucking God.
Oh, for sure.
You know the whole thing about you know, the reporting that like, oh, left wing people or, you know, leftists or whatever are more prone to be mentally ill. It's obviously that they
No.
fucking are more prone to go in and get checked because they're not fucking
Yeah.
ashamed
Correct.
and
Oh,
they
I know.
actually
Yeah.
believe in the science
Yep.
and they're yeah, like they're willing to actually admit it. They're actually willing to investigate their interiors and like and they're also more intelligent, so they're aware of and
Of the
more empathic,
problem.
so they know what the fuck's going
Yeah,
on,
like
and they
I have a problem.
feel fucking just despair about. Well, I mean the political situation,
Mhm.
you know,
No, of
'Cause
course. If you,
I've even seen some intelligent people like, dude, it's fucking ridiculous that are
well, just
that
because you're
just don't
intelligent, one thing doesn't
want
mean
to
you're gonna be
see
intelligent in
how.
everything. But again,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it comes out.
exactly.
It comes out like I said.
It's
It comes out
just-
of their news. Like I said,
yeah.
when they listen to news and it's this news the whole time, it's easy to be manipulated.
You've really got to have your head in the sand if you can't see that Trump's a narcissist. Like,
Dude, the thing is,
And-
they don't
I
even
don't
care he's a narcissist. They just he talks shit. To the
fallacies
left.
are important though. That's
He talks shit to the left people, so
Mhm.
that's all they care about. Like, oh, like I said, it's own the
That's
libs.
it. Yep.
Like 97.
Yep.
Like I
On
said,
the lib.
if you think about him as a content creator, he's the right wing content creator that goes fuck the liberals, blah 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 blah, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, he's based, he's honest, he's blah blah, blah, you know. That is how it be.
Yep. That's how it do.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, like that's like 97% of it. I guarantee you. Like, think about it, dude. He's got to have his name on every building, everything. You know, like, dude, none of this is new. He loves the spotlight.
Yeah.
As long as everyone mentions Trump's name out of their
Trump
mouth,
Tower.
like us talking about him now, even when we're talking shit about him, he doesn't care because you know what? We're talking about Trump, and he loves it. He's like, you know what? This is awesome. I'm Trump. You know, like
I'm Trump.
I'm just saying. That's how I guarantee that's how he thinks. Doesn't matter, good or bad.
Oh yeah.
If you're talking about me, we're doing good.
His mother should have aborted him, or should have died in childbirth.
Like Padme.
Because she's a nasty piece of shit. Yeah,
Padme.
she's a nasty piece of shit too.
Mm-hmm. Mitch, our sports ball team won.
There'll be some drama in the
Yesterday.
polymath chat.
There still is going on.
It's about to. Well, might be
Why?
popping up more. Who
What
knows?
happened?
One guy's annoyed that the chat isn't quite as intellectual as he thinks it ought to be.
Who,
And I can't really blame him
the Zachary guy?
sometimes. No, David. Yeah,
Oh,
me
David.
and him have gotten into it before, but we have fucking some agreements.
Everyone has some agreements. If you get really nitty gritty, and if you're actually, like I said, if you talk in good faith, you'll always find some agreements.
Some agreements. Yeah. Forgot how I said it.
Oh no, he doesn't care about anybody's feelings but yours. Oh man. Drama.
Here for the drama.
Want no drama? You ain't got no drama.
No, I just got mad at him because he was, I don't know, because he has his ideology, you know, like he sticks to, like I was arguing for like a relation first metaphysics, and he was sticking to the whole like it's like a pure existentialism with like absolutely no pre-existing essence or like something genetically that would determine. I don't know how exactly to say it, but he was accusing me of being an essentialist when I'm not an essentialist, basically.
I like my essentials, but yeah.
But I was also being hard on him.
Sometimes you
Yeah,
gotta
I would say, well, the way that I would say we share certain essences and through mental functions, which is not controversial whatsoever, or like
Mm-hmm.
need categories. Even then, we don't need every single need taken care of, I guess, at the same levels. You know, it's yeah. He was just kind of
It all depends on
being
like it's like being pedantic. Like, what do you mean by
sticking
taking
them up.
care of? Like, what levels? Like, you'd have to get like all these nitty. If you want to get like into a real debate like that, you know,
Well, yeah.
which I know
No, I
that's why
was
you guys roll.
going into depth.
I know. I get. I'm saying I know that's how you roll. I'm just saying. Oh, you're just butthurt, and it's not your forte. Oh no. You know what?
There's
If it's not your forte, you know, if you again, if you could just be humble, like, you know what? It's not. I'm willing to learn though. I guess thing is, like, honestly, if you were to honestly just come in and be like, I don't really have much idea, but this is what I think, and then I could show you something, and then we can go over it. That would be the best conversation. Like, thing is, like, you can read what I think, and then we can go over it together, and you can critique me, and I can tell you why you're either wrong or these are good points or not good points or whatever. You know, like, you actually
Yeah.
like grow and learn instead of getting butthurt. I was telling Brandon the other day that somebody mentioned something on one of my Facebooks. Instead of getting butthurt, I'm mad. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Thank you. Like, I don't know why that was so hard.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
super cool about it, and he's a cool guy to begin with, though. Like,
Yeah, no, I get that, but just in
the
general.
attitude is everything. I feel like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like, get to the attitude where you can fucking learn something new instead of getting butthurt about it. You just go,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. Like, I appreciate you making me learn something I didn't know, or this topic, or whatever.
I try to push like a collaborative thought perspective. You know, as far as
Mm-hmm.
instead of being fully dismissive, like point out something you don't under. You know, like it's. Discourse is it's a delicate matter. Like you can't just be fully
yeah,
dismissive.
It's like if you want to get like,
Especially- and you can't take. You also cannot take like the kind of, you know, discourse that occurs in political spheres and transfer to like philosophical spheres. That's I think that's part of where things get messy. Like assuming
Yeah,
the
because
other has-
philosophical and political are two different things.
but they're
Yeah.
they're
Well,
intertwined
I mean-
though. They're intertwined because
They are.
because
Here's
They
the thing
are
is that
two separate-
ideology is I think it's more about like projecting future value than it is about
it's part of that too. for sure.
specifically
oneself.
like true and false. Like for most people, it's yeah.
Somewhat, yeah. Thing is, honestly, I don't think people think like that because, like, if someone says this thing costs $100 million, they hate it. But then you go, yeah, but for the next like 15 years after you're done paying it, you don't got to pay this payment no more. Versus like get a nickel and dime for the next 15, 20 years where now it's going to cost you $300 million to fix that road or whatever the fuck, you know, like. No, like
Yeah.
do the more expensive one up front, and then you'll fucking save money long term. Like that's probably the better option, but.
Oh yeah.
But again, people go, "Oh, it's $100 million, whatever it is. That's too expensive. I can't do that." Like, you can though. So I mean, it's one of those things.
Actually, don't even know what they're talking about exactly, but they were
Yeah,
talking about
really.
narcissism earlier.
Oh god. And all the narcissists
the
came
girl.
out from both sides.
Well, no. The one girl was basically saying that she thinks narcissism and like being an empath, you know, so to speak, are compatible, or that it even requires narcissism to have a certain empathy to the point of, you know, I don't know, trying to help people or whatever to your maximum ability.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, to an extent it could be true, but that's not narcissism. Narcissism is a whole different beast. Like, just because you're receiving some sort of, like, ego boost doesn't really
Well, yeah.
mean-
Just how about this? It's
you're
one
a
of those like,
narcissist.
if you were to give to charity, but you want the praise for it, did you do it because it's good, or do you do it just to stroke your own ego? You know,
It can be
like-
both, though. I mean,
It could be
regardless, if
slightly.
somebody's doing good, they're doing good.
Well, that's what the argument, the
Yeah.
counter argument always going to be, well, if it's net positive, I guess it doesn't really matter if they're stroking their ego. However, I guess on a philosophical level, it's more like, is this person doing good like I said, because it's actually good. Like they want like to help humanity, or they're doing it just to stroke their own ego. You know, like for society as a whole, it's still better. But like on an individual level, like is this person actually good or not? You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. I'm not dealing with drama. I stopped talking. Like I said, the one drama I had earlier, I just told him like, this is going in circles. I'm done talking. Like you're just a retard.
Yeah.
Unless you want to know what these things are, you're just nothing.
Well, like over time, it takes its toll. It becomes a little stressful, but
Well, like I said, just got to
mean,
the
it
point. It's
depends,
boring.
too.
Like, dude, I'm sick of talking. Like now, I'm done talking shit. I don't even care anymore. It's not even funny.
yeah.
I threw my 2-3 funny lines. I'm done now. Like we're just done. It lost its lust.
Yeah, I don't know. The I don't know. I don't know if the soft approach or the hard approach is the best.
I mean, honestly, everybody's different. But the thing is, like I said, if someone like me personally, it was just reading knowledge and, like I said, first stop being afraid of people that, like I said, are smarter than you, or like this guy's a scientist. I should probably trust him because he knows more about it than me. And then this guy's this. I should probably trust him more about this than me because it's not that, you know. Trust
Yeah.
the experts in their own fields. I bet they know more about the field than you will
Yep.
ever know. Like that's the big thing. And it's not like this is like a blind, but like I was saying with the climate change shit. When 97, 8%.
Question
Well, I'm saying like when 97 to 8% of these people all agree, it's probably the 2% that are wrong, right? I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah, I would assume the mass majority.
well, I'm just saying, and there's a fallacy there too. So like I do understand like it's not always
Yeah.
100% true. However, if something's like 70-30, maybe I'll look at the 30% of the scientists. You know, like that's a big
Yeah.
chunk of them. You know, but
Yeah, but if it's like a landslide, then yeah. But sometimes it's like, huh.
well, it's funny. 'Cause
It's always just read multiple papers, like you say. Just read multiple
True.
papers,
That's what I
compare
try to
and
do.
contrast them.
you know, that's what I
Yep.
try to do personally. But
That's the best thing.
you know, what's it called? Fucking silly. Ooh,
Yeah, I
Rand
wish people
Paul
would
wants
use
to
their
strip tariff
brains.
authorities from Trump and give it to the Congress. Good job, Rand Paul.
Uh-huh.
It's funny because all these people always say, isn't it ironic? These people always say they want small government, but they want Trump to run everything. Like that's the farthest from a small government
Yeah.
that I've ever met in my life. How can you be an authoritarian state and want small government? Like those two things are totally opposite. They cannot work together.
No, they cannot. Goddamn rain.
Rain.
No, it's fucking with the internet a little bit.
We had rain earlier, so you must be getting our shit now. It was a pretty good downpour earlier. Dude.
Alright, so I'm done with that.
Dude. Oh, Brandy, you getting in the fucking nonsense?
Oh, I don't want to. I just want to see what he says. Just want
The
to probe his
final
brain.
frontier? The final frontier, huh?
The final frontier.
I know, right? He likes rational theology. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. Rational
I
theology.
guess it would be
like people
a
that try, but the thing is, you
a
always
rational interpretation of theology, like
true. But
a
even those people lie. Like, 'cause, like I listen to, like William Lane Craig and all like the best people are supposed to be like the best at this shit, and I listen to them argue with all these people. I'm like, even when they're like at their best, they're still fucking cherry picking and half truthing all the things. Like, that's all they
well, I
do.
just mean more like a psychological interpretation, but I don't know what exactly he means.
I know. I was just saying when I read it, I was like, I don't know, because like to me, to be religious is by nature just irrational. You can't be rational because you're believing in a
So
very
like David's sort of where I got the idea of a natural epistemology from, where, which is hard to explain, but my whole notion is we close out our existential problem spaces, or essentially, or like our desire to conform to ideology, and I consider modernity, like, which is strictly empiricism first, to be epistemologically limiting. So if you
blocked.
like sort of close out these problem spaces, like in a sense where that's really hard to explain. So like a lot of it has to do with like psychology and like
Mm-hmm.
your own personal psychology and like your needs for engaging with these problems that you know, so like even politics and stuff like that, you know, like
Yep.
anything that you feel like a need to um be concerned about evidence in. So all right, so like I also have to bring in the idea that I think madness is essentially a concept that is derived, or I shouldn't even say a concept, but the idea that one is behaving irrationally is bound up in deviating from ideology. That's what I think. And we've got pre-modernity, modernity, and post-modernity
Mm-hmm.
as three different cultural phases in which like the one is derived from the last. So modernity is a response to the dogma of religion and its oppression and all that. It's refusal to like the fucking
Mm-hmm.
Galileo and like all these people that were fucking oppressed,
For
and
sure.
suppressed.
Yeah.
But then modernity took hold. Religion started to die. You have the Nietzsche quote, like, we have killed God, we
Yeah.
cannot wash his blood from our hands. Meaning started to deteriorate because
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't find it through science. We also could not establish an objective morality through science or reason alone. So we got science and reason.
Mm-hmm.
So in response to that, we had the relativism and the individualism of postmodernity, which says, well, if there's no meaning, I'm just gonna make it up on my own, right?
Yeah.
And that's where like straight pleasure starts to take hold as the meaning, and that leads to problems. That leads to greed and egotism and all this other shit. That's probably why we have some narcissism, because everything's just purely justified with, I want this, I want to do this.
Yep.
Mhm.
So like meta-modernism would be a sort of synthesis and like to find coherence between all three and transcend them.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of arrive at the idea that we produce natural conditions in our minds for conjecture, and conjecture without the conditions for wishful thinking or paranoia, we arrive at just pure coherence with the facts, as far as conjecture goes. So
Yeah.
we're not deriving things strictly from the facts. We're moving beyond the facts to like a sort of transcendent realm beyond it, like whatever is coherent with it. But then there's other things you got to bring up with it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I think we need a new epistemology, or like I shouldn't even like a holistic epistemology and a naturalistic epistemology. And part of me also thinks that there might be more at play in reality than we think. Like, and our minds could, in a sense, drift. Like, it's hard to say. There could be a condition where we end up interfacing with the quantum realm, maybe. I don't know. It through closing out these problem spaces, but that's super woo woo. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe if we empty our cups as much as we can, and drift away from these earthly problem spaces, we can arrive at, I don't know, through some fucking means, our body is tapping into this quantum realm and finding knowledge that way. But that's just shit, I'm working on basically.
Mm-hmm.
Is yeah. So I think the next phase kind of involves embracing natural epistemology.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
And like I basically, I mean, I do think modernity is it is a limitation. Like if you can't be creative in your thinking, if you're always just thinking about staying in bounds, you're not gonna fucking find new theories. You're not gonna find new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, you
we
got
have
the
a situation where people are afraid to have ideas because they might be called crazy, or you're not sticking with the status quo.
Fuck the status quo.
fuck your couch.
Right, but
nigga.
you gotta pay some fucking mind to empiricism, of course.
Yeah.
Like that's the point. That's why, and I think it's like more of a synthesis than it is an abandonment. And so when somebody seems to be deviating from your ideology, it gives you a sense of cognitive dissonance. Like that's the same thing that conservatives do. That's their ideology. So that's kind of my I don't know. I think that's about all there is to say. Ideology, yeah, and then like in my analysis, ideology sort of limits nature, or like separates nature into parts. So it started with, I've said this before, like the building of walls, or setting up structures, or hunting parties, bands of warriors, so on and so forth,
Yep.
for defense. We separate us from others, us from nature, and then that builds from there to separation between populations and different cultural class, different classes, and different subcultures, and so on and so forth. It's just more partitioning, because and it's in response to the ideology that was preceding. Like, so every partition we get, it's a response to a problem generated by the preceding ideology. So it just keeps building and building and building, and it keeps limiting nature, expression of our emotions, expression of this or that, and I think we have to reintegrate back with our full nature and with nature, essentially. Which is, I mean, there's a lot involved with that, but the point is to transcend ideology. So instead of being super anti-ego, you integrate, confidence, or even a sense of arrogance. It's not even, that's the whole thing that I think is like, the appearance of arrogance in itself isn't bad. Like, to have high aspirations and to act like you have high aspirations isn't bad. And that's where people project, oh, you're arrogant, you're this, like there's so much nuance to this shit, because there's so many different perspectives on these traits or expressions based upon one's psychological history.
Yeah.
And I think we're just very confused about psychology, and I think ideology runs through the whole of psychology, just most of it. Not like, think positive thoughts, like, yeah, that's not an ideological thing, but it could be said that any negativity could have been produced by not cohering to ideology, or not getting the praise that results from cohering to it. But so I'm using a very broad definition of ideology here, as like essentially society's rules. So like it intersects with culture, essentially. Be polite, or make eye contact.
It's a golden
Just
rule shit.
these
Basically,
little
be nice.
rules.
Be nice to people. Like, people are nice to you, be nice to them
Right.
back. Like, it's not that hard, man.
So the relationship between reason and ideology is it's basically it's piecemeal. Like we integrate little bits at a time, and yeah. So like, obviously, building a camp would be, integrating nature in a sense that like, oh, if I build boundaries or whatever, people can't get in.
Mhm.
Like so that's observing a relationship in nature and integrating it into the culture or ideology. It's really not. It's not that complicated to me. Like ideology,
No.
just it moves away from nature, and now we must move back toward it because it's limited our expression of nature. And you see that with conservatives,
Yeah, mostly.
where they're they're fucking terrified of ever appearing weak, because
They're just
the
terrified of
horror.
change. That's all they are.
That's what
Well,
they want to
there's that
conserve.
too.
They want to conserve tradition or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
I'm saying.
Right,
literally
but
in their
that's the
name.
ideology. So like the structures that we have produced thus far is because of fear,
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they're trying to preserve instead of, moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
reintegrating with our nature. Like you think about like I don't know, like the whole homosexuality thing, like that has to be a fucking fear, like
For
oh,
sure.
what if everybody starts to be gay? What if
Oh,
That
what if
or
I'm gay and I lose
that's
my
part of
wife
it
or
too.
whatever? Like this is
Yeah, let's say it's more probably
yeah.
fucking. These people are gonna fucking look
A lot
at
of
me
it's
and
paranoia.
shower at me and do all this shit. It's like, dude, no, they're not. You're a gross, dude.
That
They
too.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
More than likely, dude. You're I don't know. That's pretty much how I think of it. Just you're probably nothing special, so I don't know why the fuck you're acting like you're special. Do 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 do. Do do do. So what are you playing, Meech?
Passive Exile, or not Passive Exile. Last Epoch.
Hmm.
The leg seems to let up a little bit, but still fucking annoying.
All right. And it's amazing. Let's see here. Let's find something cool. Mm. Probably do do do. Uh-oh. Apparently Xbox is gonna raise their games to $80 too. Just came out.
Yeah, that's gonna be the new fucking norm. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Fucking cunts.
I mean, honestly, I guarantee you
I hate Nintendo so fucking much.
the excuse is gonna be tariffs. That'd be my guess. Which is kind of valid.
But more
to an extent.
tariffs, like he didn't even. Yeah.
Well, no, but they're pricing it in though, because you don't want to fucking charge $70 and then like one day be like, oh, now they're 80 tariffs. You know? Did you see that Trump and them were pissed because Amazon put the price of tariffs in there?
Yeah.
They're like, you can't do that's political, blah
Yeah,
blah.
that's funny.
It's like, dude, no,
No, it ain't. It's consumer rights, you motherfucker.
right? It's like, dude, you're the one that did it. So people should have a right. It's the same as when the electrical company did the thing with Georgia people, or whatever it was. They're like, the reason why your gas bill is fucking $500 this month is because Trump took away our fucking subsidies. So just remember, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
Just things like that. But I don't know. The thing is, we're waiting for the 90-day when he's gonna redo the tariffs again or re-talk about doing them in whatever day, you know, because he did a 90-day delay. So I'm just waiting for that
Yeah.
next fucking big dip to happen because he's gonna be like, tariffs are back on, and then everyone's gonna lose their shit again.
Yeah.
And then in 5 days he's gonna go back and be like,
For some fucking reason.
oh no, I was just kidding. They're not on no more. The tariffs are over. And rinse repeat cycle. That's how it's gonna be.
Oh, Yahoo. Oh, the huge leg spike, and somehow I survived. Thanks, Wolves.
Right. Tesla denies report that EV makers looking to replace Elon Musk. They probably do better, but damage is already done.
Yeah, fuck Tesla.
Thing is, even if they were to do good in America, the world's not going to buy them. That's what I keep trying to warn people. Like when they talk about Tesla stocks, I'm like, if anything, I'm going to buy this Chinese one. It's called Biddy or whatever, BYD. But they do EVs, but they're going to take over the world because nobody's going to buy Teslas. They're going to buy these cars now. Because why
Yep.
would you support a
Sounds about
Nazi sympathizer, basically? I don't know. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, no shit. Never. Never.
That's what I'm saying. I can give you the whole Nazi playbook and tell you this is what's happening, and then I go, but you support this, right? Yeah. Well, then you are the same as them, right? No, I'm not. They're illegal. You know who? You know what Hitler said about these people? They were illegal too, and all this other shit. Like, it's the same. It's the same blueprint, man. It's the same. I don't know how else I can tell you.
Yeah, same goddamn thing.
Like I said, the one dude is funny. I can say all the words, and you come to the conclusion. That's on you, bro. If the conclusion makes you feel bad, well, that says more about you than me. The other day, I told this dude,
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're just
obviously,
a fucking jackass, right?
dude. I use a good shit. I was like, dude, I'm taking it you never read the diary of fucking Anne Frank, because if you did, you realize that those aren't the people you want to support.
Yeah.
Like,
Never want to support them.
like Anne Frank was a criminal too. Should she have died? And should she have been tortured? And you know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't want to think like it's literally one for one. If you're gonna, especially now that they're saying like we want the right to fucking just enter your house. If you think there's somebody's there, we don't need warrants and shit. It's like what?
Yeah, eat shit.
That's where I get lost in sauce. I'm like, I can't believe this shit. Like, you guys are really saying that?
Yeah.
Let's see here. What are the Vikings odds to win the Super Bowl? $3,000. $100 will get you 3,000. That's way too good. They're not. What do they got?
Oh, did the Wild win today?
Fuck no, they choked. I already knew they would. I tried to tell everyone at the bar.
God damn it.
They lost the one game they should have won. They should have won game 4. It should have been up 3-1, and they lost that game. They choked away in the 4th or the 3rd, I guess. And once they did that, I knew they were gonna lose. I'm like, uh-oh. Because playoffs and shit's all about you can't be choking games away. Like, if you have a game in the bag, you have to fucking seal it. And if you don't, these people are so good in any sport, they're gonna make it up. You know. They gave him an extra life, basically.
Oh yeah.
It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Alright, I'm gonna go back to risking it for a minute. No risk it, no biscuit.
Risk it to risk it.
No risk it, no biscuit. You get no biscuits if you don't risk it.
Oh shit! Nice. I can complete these. Oh. I was wondering why I wasn't shooting anything. I realized, oh, I was in my human form. Duh.
Well, dude, you can't be a fucking human. That's just
I
preposterous.
kept on spawning totems.
YouTube ads is made for your business. Bring your brand to life with targeted video ads.
Targeted video ads.
I lied about Starbucks, all right? I lied about Starbucks. I wasn't getting Starbucks. Did you see the Sam?
Won't read any super chats. I might click them and bring them on the screen for my audience to see, but I find it's rude to the person you're interacting with if you're reading messages, unless for whatever reason it's very pertinent to the discussion.
I'm
So
gonna start listening
anybody
to
who gives
is
us
it still
chats, I
lagging?
promise
Sorry.
I would read those.
Right-winger, dude. He's a
Testing,
lawyer.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're like 4 seconds off.
If you want to watch.
So, in other words, he's just gonna fucking wreck them.
Most likely. I mean, the one dude's all right winger. At least he's kind of smart, but he also is fucking. Again, he's a cherry picker too. He'll say stuff and then be like, "Why don't you say the whole quote, bro?" or whatever. Like, why don't you say the whole context behind it? Like, stop leaving shit out. Like, that's what I was saying. Right wingers are really good at fucking. Oh, I don't know what you mean. There's some context here I'm missing. I didn't know.
So I won't read super chats till the end, but I promise I'll get.
Yeah,
to them all
usually
at the
a
end.
lot.
Right.
How about now? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I mean-
can't play risk.
Yeah, it's still super laggy. If it's laggy on my end, that's no problem. As long as
Oh.
we can hear you, that's all that matters.
On my end, everything is not laggy, but I hope that
Okay.
is okay with you. My bad.
Yeah, it's fine. You can check. It looks ridiculous, but that's fine as long as it's good in your end. I don't care. So,
Cool. So
all
you're doing
right, so-
okay. You got a new lawnmower. Allergies coming up. Allergies acting up on my end too, man.
yeah,
Maybe
I don't know. I didn't
allergies.
feel like I was having any allergies, but if you sound off, maybe I did. Maybe. But do you want to set the state?
A state trooper in Minnesota was just charged with making child porn. What a fucking disgusting piece of shit.
Hmm.
On Thursday, so yeah, today was arrested and charged.
What a scumbag.
Yeah, the lowest of the low. And he made like not only did he do like
Yeah.
nasty things, he also filmed it and probably trying to sell it and shit. Like Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah,
So
probably
bad.
on the dark
Al-
web.
Yeah, it was all Ross Ulbricht, the guy that he pardoned. Funny.
Hmm.
I know. Nobody could ever tell me why that was a good fucking. We should pardon that guy. I thought we hate drugs. He's the biggest drug dealer in the world. Oh, we like him. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh man, how do you get there? I don't know.
Neither do I.
Hey, Brandon, you've been hearing about this whole
I was like,
nonsense
really?
of 100 men or a gorilla?
Oh yeah.
Who you picking, Mitch?
I found a
wait,
good
say it
one.
again?
Who
I
wins?
found-
Who wins
no.
in a fight? 100 grown ass men or one gorilla?
Or one gorilla? I mean, the men would overwhelm it eventually.
You would
As
think
long as
They work
you know,
together.
some of them wanted to be the sacrificial lamb. You know, it's like the fucking front line of a fucking army.
Sure, the vanguard.
100 shaven
Yeah.
gorillas or one Ouija bowl.
But yeah, that
Dude.
that was a bit.
Imagine a fucking like backhand from a fucking gorilla into your face or your fucking
Oh.
chest, just caving it in or something.
Oh, you would
Yeah,
fucking go flying.
You might not fly, but
Yeah,
you'll
it would
be caved
cave
the
in.
fuck in. Like, dude, if
Oh, yeah.
a gorilla fucking punched you in the chest, like for real, dude, your whole chest cavity would
They're
just fucking
fucking
collapse. You would probably almost die instantly because all that
ferocious.
shit would probably jab into your heart, and you'd probably die instantly, or like pretty soon. That'd be my guess. The thing is, I suppose, like, if I were to be like, I would try to have, like, you know, your 1020 fucking sacrificial lamb people, like, try to have, like, outflank, like, you know, like, go, like, whoosh, whoosh, and try to get them look this way and have a couple more behind them and try to make them, like, kind of spin and fucking confuse them and stuff. That'd be my, like, tactic. I don't know.
Wait, say it again. Sorry.
I was saying I would have, like,
Fucking chatting now.
that's all right. I'm saying, like, your 1020 sacrificial lamb people you're talking about, right? I would have them, like, try to encircle him first and try to, like, distract him, like, you know, because they're a little bit stupid. They're not, you know, they're smart, but they're not as smart as us. So hopefully try to confuse them, you know, as much as you can so you can get, like, a good rush out of, like, 5-10 people all at once on, like, the backside. Because if you get them to the ground, they're not going to be as tough. It's when they're standing and they have all that power. You know, it's like fighting a big dude at the bar and shit, dude. Like, I always say, if we're standing up, you're way bigger than me. If we're both on the ground, we're both about 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Stage for sort of what this discussion is going to be, or do you
Yeah.
want me to?
No,
Go more
happy to do it. I think the question is whether or not the Supreme Court ruled that Boasberg lacked jurisdiction in this case involving the Alien Enemies Act that occurred, originated in the District of Columbia, went up to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and then to the Supreme Court. And so I guess the question is a pretty narrow one, which is whether or not the Supreme Court, that is, ruled that Boasberg had jurisdiction or not. And I think that he did.
Okay, and I'm going to say that they ruled that he didn't. Just the reason that we are having this discussion is we had a Spaces. It was sort of impromptu. It started off talking about something else. It went into the weeds, talking about issues like if we were going to have a debate, which was tangentially scheduled with modern day debates. It's
We
another
often do this.
conversation. But nonetheless,
Of course, it had to be a fucking
I had made the
crit.
point that I
What?
Fucking crit killed me, of course. The only thing that can kill me.
thought it was clear that Boasberg didn't have jurisdiction.
Boasberg
You
didn't
said
have jurisdiction.
no. He did have subject matter jurisdiction,
Mhm.
and then said he had jurisdiction in general. So you will be arguing your position isn't going to be, well, he didn't have jurisdiction, but he did have subject matter jurisdiction.
And deport Venezuelan. There is more breaking news to share this hour. A federal judge in Texas has ruled the Trump administration cannot rely on the Alien Enemies Act to detain and deport Venezuelan migrants
do it no
alleged
more.
to be gang members. The ruling says the administration's use of the 18th century law exceeds its scope, but the government can rely on another law. It's the Immigration and Nationality Act to
the
remove
INA.
those who engage in criminal activity. Joining us now, NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ames.
I love it. Someone pointed Drudge like, you can use the NIA. We already have a law to kick people out. Do that, please. Stop using the fucking Alien Enemies Act, you fucking dummy. I love it.
Ainsley and former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance. Welcome to you both. So, Julia, what does this ruling from the judge in Texas mean for those who've already been deported under the Alien Enemies Act and for anyone currently in detention?
Well, it has definitely more of an impact on those currently in detention. As we know, the administration tried to deport more people more Venezuelans to El Salvador just in the last 2 weeks before they got an emergency halt from the Supreme Court. But this is the first time any federal judge has weighed in on whether or not Trump can actually rely on this authority at all. This is a pretty significant ruling, and it's one that we can expect to be appealed by the government and make its way up to the Supreme Court. Previously, everything you've heard all the rulings about this have just dealt with whether or not Trump could do that in that moment, or whether or not those people needed to be returned. This is whether or not he can use the Alien Enemies Act to justify that there's in fact an invasion happening inside this country, designate Venezuelans and people from El Salvador as part of this gang, and deport them without any due process. What this judge is saying is you have a process to deport these people. It's called the Immigration Nationality Act, and it requires that they have due process, that they can go before an immigration judge to determine whether or not they can stay in the United States, and they could go before a criminal court to decide whether or not they've actually been charged with criminality. He's saying that he is usurping that process, and that is a Trump-appointed judge saying that. So it's definitely a real blow to this policy that the Trump administration out.
Oh man, so true.
Born
Like
state
that's the whole
trooper,
thing.
damn.
We have a law to kick people out of this country and do things. Why can't we just follow the law? Like I said, realistically, hire more judges so we can go through it faster. Like I agree. Like there's a at least a better solution to do it.
Yeah.
But again, it costs money and people don't want to do that.
That costs too much money.
Well, yeah, like I said, if someone goes, here's $100 million, we can't spend that. And then you go, well, there's all these problems here. Well, you know what would have fixed it? That $100 million I was asking you for just a little bit ago, right? Like, but again, nobody wants to fucking do anything about it.
My position is
you're not
he
gonna argue
had
that. You're gonna
jurisdiction, and that the dismissal, what the Supreme Court ruled had nothing to do with his subject matter jurisdiction. Oh, sorry, that it with his jurisdiction, and that a dismissal about venue, and these are all ways of saying the same thing, kind of, that a dismissal based on venue is not a dismissal based on jurisdiction.
If you or someone you know hates ads with a burning passion, Pi is here to
You
help.
hate ads
This
with
is
a burning
Pi. It's a
passion?
free browser extension.
Yes, everyone does.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So we could start anywhere you want.
Yep.
I think it would be worthwhile to start with a definition of what
advertising.
jurisdiction is, but it's up to you.
I would rather go through my argument, and but the argument will entail
Holy
looking at the
shit,
definition of jurisdiction. I've laid that out in
880%
a
extra cold damage.
series of tweets, and I think the argument is logically valid. And if the premises are true, the conclusion is true. And if the conclusion is true, it's clear that the dismissal, even at accepting that it was a venue-based dismissal,
70%.
that it was not jurisdictional, and it's not based on jurisdiction. And so I've laid out an argument. You can take
343 spell
I
damage
don't know, an
increase.
agnostic position. You can take whatever position you want, but I think that's a good way to proceed, because I think if my argument holds true,
On what, a weapon? Or
I
on
win the
what?
debate. And I think it's a valid argument. So
Okay.
it's just a question.
I also
33.
so we could start with you can give your argument and I can give my argument, and then
Okay.
I have premise and
fuck
conclusion as well, and then
is-
we'll start
oh.
with yours, and then we can move on to mine. So
Sounds
you
good.
go ahead and give your premises and conclusion, and then I'll give
Sure.
mine. How's that sound?
Yeah, no problem. If the habeas territorial jurisdictional rule is a venue rule, then it is not a jurisdictional rule. That's H implies not J. The second premise is the habeas territorial jurisdiction rule is the venue rule. That's H. Therefore, conclusion. The habeas territorial jurisdiction rule is not a jurisdictional rule. So if it's the case that that's the argument. If you grant that argument,
Here's another question I just thought of randomly because I'm looking at all this shit. Why do we always push all the fucking immigrants' faces down? Why can't we ever see their faces? Like in
I don't
in
know.
all these videos, they're always like the cops and all shit. All they have their heads fucking pointing down and stuff. It's like, huh? Why don't you ever let us see their faces and stuff? Like, because you don't want to fucking make them look like actual humans and stuff, or like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably dehumanized. Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought of that because I watched like a couple of clips with it, and again, there's like 3 different cop people doing the same thing. They all, hold their heads down and shit. It's like, huh? Wonder why?
Ashamed?
Maybe.
Cops are ashamed of fucking ruining people's lives over what are essentially mental health issues.
Right. A lot of it is.
Education, mental health, fucking economic. Bunch of shit fucking piled together. Or confluence.
People be bitches.
Especially Mitch.
Especially Mitch
Yep.
the bitch.
I'm just kidding. You're not. I don't want to fucking do because like my brother like so I would every time I go to my brother or I'd see my or I shouldn't even say every time but like sometimes I'll say what's up
Whatever, yeah.
bitch to my brother or whatever and he'd fucking actually take it offensively
gets
and then he
butthurt
like
about
said
it.
something about it.
I already know.
I don't know.
It's like,
That's
dude,
just
I'm just
you
talking
know
shit,
what it
bro.
is.
It's not
People
that
take
hard.
things different ways. Exactly. Like that's dude. Like masculine friendships are shit talking. That's just
Oh, I
that's
already
how
know,
it
dude.
goes.
Yeah.
Or, but even for fucking feminine relationships, you know, like they
It's a
just
little less,
they
but
talk,
yeah.
talk shit because it gets you. That's how you get you know
camaraderie.
vulnerable.
Because the
Or
thing
not-
is
I shouldn't
also
say
that's
vulnerable,
part of
but,
it
like,
too.
you
But
propel
also,
yourself out into the open. You get yourself out in the open.
well, the thing is also like, it's like I can talk shit about you, but you over here, you can't talk shit about him. You don't know him. You can't, like, you know, like it's one of those also like,
Hate that. Yeah.
oh, I do hate it, but it's one of those things that's also like part of being a human, though.
What we talking about?
I'm saying like the tribalistic, where like if I make fun of you, right, like because I know you, like person over here, they can't make fun of you because they don't know you. Like I can make fun of you because I know you.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, like
Yeah.
that kind of thought process and shit. You
right.
know, like
Yeah.
I
that's
can talk
bad.
shit. I can call you a bitch ass motherfucker, whatever. You know, because I know you. We're friends. But dude over here at the bar, you know, across from me at the bar has never met you. If they start calling you a bitch ass motherfucker, well, they don't know you. It's not gonna be funny. It's gonna be like, are we fucking serious? Like, are we really gonna fight or be like whatever? You know, like doesn't have the same connotation. I guess. It's funny how that
Yeah,
works.
there's a weird way.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always like a vibe. There's always a moment.
That would
you can
explain
tell
it.
when it's when we are buds, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah. History and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn. White bitches be tripping. There's a black chick too. Damn. There's a cheerleader too. She busting ass. Oof. One of the best fights I've ever seen is this chick fucking got hit with mashed potatoes in the face and she lost her shit and fucking beat the fuck out of this chick in high school. It was so funny. I'll never forget it.
I win because at most the fictional rule made it so that the case couldn't be brought under Boasberg and a dismissal based on jurisdiction. So that's the argument.
Okay. I have two arguments, and I think that they work concurrently with each other. But if somehow it was argued that they don't, I think if I win either of these, I win the debate. The first is premise one: jurisdiction is the court's power to decide a case or issue.
Tired.
All right, yeah, I'll probably head out
Peace
for like
out.
a half hour or so.
All right. Oh, damn it.
I got
Fucking
time,
slow.
brother. I got time on it. All right, hold on, let me go back.
The Supreme Court ruled Boasberg did not have the power to decide this case or issue a decree. Therefore, conclusion, the Supreme Court ruled that Boasberg did not have jurisdiction. The second argument I have is premise one: for core habeas petitions, jurisdiction lies in only one district, the District of Confinement. Premise two is the Supreme Court ruled the remedy for the plaintiffs would only be through habeas petitions. Premise three is Boasberg's jurisdiction is not the area of confinement. Therefore, the conclusion, the Supreme Court ruled Boasberg does not have jurisdiction.
Your
future is at your fingertips.
He's just a fucking judge. He's not the president. Still stupid.
Take advantage of the flexibility and diversity of futures trading with Ninja Trade.
I always got to tell people. People forget that it's a judicial branch. It's a third of the government, man. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah, these guys were throwing a lot of weird technical verbiage around. They're arguing about like whether the fucking amendment or whatever. Is it an amendment? They're
What
arguing
is?
about whether that applies to all citizens or all people under our jurisdiction, or whether it
Yeah,
just applies
the
to
Fifth
citizens. Is
Amendment
that what it
says
is?
no person shall be tried or whatever without having due process, basically. Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, no person that is quite clear. Yeah,
And again, so when people go, well, it was written for citizens. So, I mean, A, it wasn't because the words aren't saying that. But B, like I said, the first immigration law wasn't until 1924. So when that law was written,
Well-
it was for literally for everybody. There was no, like, immigrants were totally welcome. And, you know, like, even like the historical context
where all
and the
people
legal
considered
context.
citizens. Let's see here.
I'm just saying that I have the historical and the legal context on my side. So when people try to argue, I'm like, dude, what is your context besides I feel this way or I think this way? Because you don't have courts and you don't have history on your side. So what the fuck you mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, how do people argue me this dumb shit when they have no fucking idea what the fuck any of it is? It baffles me. Again, it's just I feel this way.
I'm wondering. So wait. So at first, only male property owners could vote, right?
Yeah, white males, yeah.
But did they? Was that how citizenship was limited then, or was everybody a citizen then?
No, women had no citizenship, and black people, that's the 3/5 law. They were 3/5 of a person. And the only reason why they became 3/5 of a person, because they weren't originally in the beginning, but they got that later on because slave owners and shit down south were like, we're being underrepresented because, you know, we only have this much population, but we have all these slaves that live here, and they should count as people. And then the white people up north are like, no, and they compromise it. Every black person counts as 3/5, and that became your House of Representation and all that shit. You know?
Jesus.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that in the past. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many things. That's what I'm saying. Historical context, all these things. But I'm saying when people try to argue, it's like you don't have the law or the history on your side. So what the fuck are you trying to argue with me for? Like, I mean, there's just no good argument besides I think or I feel. So I always tell people I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I care about the law, and this is the law. Like, can you show me something that negates it? Because you have nothing, right? Okay, just admit you have nothing that can negate the Fifth Amendment and or, like I said, the history of it with immigration was open all the way up until 1924.
Okay, so is voting rights and citizenship like one and the same, basically? Is that like how the
Let me
semantics
double
works
check
out?
for like consensuses. I don't know. Hold on. Let's see here.
So voting was
Were-
limited to white property holders.
Were women
It doesn't say anything about
counted
citizenship.
on consensus in 1800?
So I feel like if citizenship was
Yes,
held,
women were counted.
or okay,
Just free white women, obviously. But yeah. Actually, the better question is: did women count for? Did women
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
count towards electoral college the 1800s? Come on, website. Has adopted the Constitutional Convention. Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 of the Constitution mandated that the population number forming the basis for calculating the representation of House representation shall be determined by adding the whole number. Here you go. So originally it was be determined by adding the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for years or for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed 3/5 of all people. Contemporaries and historians have contested the meaning and subsequence of the stipulation that 3 out of every 5 enslaved people would be counted. Well, this has more to do that than women, I guess, but still. Where's the women, though? Hold on. Control F. Women. There ain't no women? Alright. This article's stupid. I'm looking for women specifically, but okay. Thank you for the knowledge I already knew. But everything I see says so far that it counted free white women. So 1920. I don't care. I know when they got the right book.
1886. Yik Wo versus Hopkins. A Chinese non-citizen was denied a permit under a discriminatory law. SCOTUS ruled equal protection, 14th Amendment, and due process. 5th, apply to all persons within a territorial jurisdiction, regardless of citizenship. 2001. Zadidvis versus Davis.
I've seen that one. Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like literally the precedent all the way through.
I already know.
is
that's my whole
all
point.
persons,
Like you have
regardless
no
of citizenship.
courts
Yeah,
that
I
back
know.
you up, and you have no historical things to back you up. So like when people keep making this hard, it doesn't count for illegals. Like, bro, because I always tell people like if I get in trouble in Mexico, right? If I go to Mexico on a trip and I fucking get in trouble, right? It's their laws and their fucking rules and their courts that have to follow, right? It's not America's. I don't get American rights in Mexico. You know, like I don't get the Second Amendment when I go to Mexico, right? I don't get the First Amendment when I go to Second. You know, like no, but they get it here because they're in our jurisdiction. They're in our fucking, you know. It's crazy. And then people, like I said,
Mhm.
you
Yep,
know, and like
absolutely,
you're
yep.
saying, there, you like I said, all these court cases that back it up. Like I said, there's so many things, you know, like so you're saying you have no court case and you have no history. I just don't get why people just can't understand that they have neither one on their side, and that's stupid. You're literally making up new ideas out of thin air. These new rules and fucking things.
Mhm.
Sense of people. Everyone just talks about 3/5. I already know about 3/5. 3/5 my ass. That's what I tell them. Just kidding. Hmm. Boo-doo. All right, go back to this.
Fair enough. We can start with yours if you want.
Sure. And then
I would think
yeah, go.
I would think that even if you would win your conclusion, I think both of mine would supersede them, and that if you win yours and I win mine, it would still be a ruling of not jurisdiction.
So if my argument follows, if it's true that it was not based on jurisdiction, I see a contradiction. How can my argument follow where it's not a ruling based on jurisdiction, it's not dismissed for jurisdiction, and your argument also be true that it is? That seems like logically impossible.
It wouldn't be, because it depends on how we would define the term jurisdiction, right? And so therefore, I think that your argument could hypothetically be true, talking about specific types of jurisdiction, but not jurisdiction in general. And so therefore, if it's true that, and that's why I wanted to start with the definition.
Okay.
I think you'll concede the definition, because I had a definition that was very similar to yours. I saw your Black's Law Dictionary definition. That's basically premise one. In my first argument, that's premise one. I don't think you'll dispute that. Premise two is the Supreme Court ruled that Boasberg did not have the power to decide this case or issue a decree. If I win that the Supreme Court said that, and you agree with premise one, that's it. The Supreme Court's ruled that he doesn't have jurisdiction.
But they can't both be true. Listen, let's work through it. And,
let's go through yours first.
Okay.
That's fine.
Let me read this. The Constitution of the United States was framed nearly a century and a half ago when government of the people, or even of the people, was an untried experiment. The masses, as a rule, were uneducated, entirely without experience in government, and the property class looked upon the idea of entrusting the government in their hands in rash and independence. It had been attempted only in England, and there was a share in the government was restricted to the nobility in one house and the property owners a means of the other. Even in the country in 1887, when the United States Constitution was framed, in few states was there a manhood suffrage even for lower houses. For the state senate, there was a requirement for many years of property qualifications for electors. In only one state was the governor elected by the actual people. In the other states, he was chosen by the legislature, and in not one were the people entrusted with the election of the judges. The whole idea was to restrain whatever share in the government was given to the people by every safeguard that could be thought of, which was not too evidently a denial of popular governments. By the federal constitution, only 1/6 shared in the government, i.e., half of the legislation department, the lower houses of Congress, was to be elected by the people. And in many states, there were restrictions upon suffrage, even as to that, for it was provided with the representation should be chosen by those qualified to vote for members of the lower house of the state legislature, and did not mean manhood suffrage in all states at the time. So yeah, even like back then, they're saying poor people couldn't vote because they're fucking stupid. They're too dumb.
You gotta watch this. You gotta watch this.
Hold on. You gotta share it. Well, you gotta share it,
I did. I showed it to you.
in a
Messenger.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god, dude. Yeah, the gorillas are. Yeah, dude. Or was it? Was it them? I think this must be like Epic Battle Simulator or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those today.
Oh my fucking god. Oh, you already saw this.
Well, maybe not that one. I've seen a few other ones. I've seen a bunch of them. Like I said, because that's been the fucking trend of the day or whatever. So I've seen it a bunch recently.
Oh my god. What? They only killed. You'll see it.
Actually, I think I have seen this one. This is pretty dope, though. You know, this video would have been cool if they made all the humans look like Neo. That's the thing, though. Like, in this situation, gorillas would fuck us up, whatever, because they're running. Like, I was about to say, my strategy is more like for the one to kind of make them slow and make them go side to side, you know, in circles and shit, not just come right at me. Because if it comes right at you, you're just fucked. Yee. I know, because there's so many men in the back, like, you have to get so far to even get to the fight. They're saying they would stomp us, huh? You know, how many of them? None of them died, even.
14 gorillas went down. That's it.
Jeez.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
scientific that shit is, you know.
Don't matter. So
Like,
cool. I mean, I've seen a few of these fucking.
there's so many
simulations.
different situations. Like a fucking like you would have humans like fucking piling on gorillas, fucking.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I
like
said,
there'd
in
be
that
actually
simulation,
tactics.
you see
you
them
know,
out like
they'd
these
be
people
like
are
fucking
flying and shit.
poking at their eyes and shit. You know.
Dude, I know, dude. Like I said,
But like, dude, you know how hard it would be to fucking actually take down a gorilla with your fucking dude. Like, you have to have so many people fucking beating the fucking shit. Like, how many fucking hits would it take to kill a gorilla? I wonder.
a lot.
Fucking, I don't even. You couldn't even. How could you break its neck? Yeah, like, what do you do with your bare hands? I honestly don't know.
Well, hold on. Let's see here. Not
What's
big.
your best chance? You fucking go for the throat with your fucking hands and.
Yeah, probably. Or the thing is,
I mean,
or
they-
you can
they
just
probably have
weak,
some
you can
fucking
weaken it if you
thick-ass-
like break its arms and shit,
I
and where
know.
it can't fight and stuff. Like if you can have like two people like grab its arm and just pull it like the opposite way and just like try to tear it out of its socket and shit, you know, like you'd have to maim it, right? That'd be another way.
I don't even know though. Like, dude, how many dudes you gotta fucking have swarming a gorilla? Fuck. That was 100 to 1.
No,
Wait.
that was
Oh, yeah,
that
'cause
was
yeah, that's the whole
10,000
thing, 100.
million.
But yeah, that's still 100 to 1.
Dude, of course. I go on fucking I
Fucking
ask the
gorillas,
question. It's on
fucking
Reddit
grouped
and
up
shit
like
everywhere, dude.
Spartans.
Everybody's talking about there's no fucking way you can kill with your fucking bare hands and all this other shit, you know, like there's no answer because we can't know because nobody's gonna fucking do it. you know it's fucked up. You know who we need to we need to bring
Dude.
back for the science project? Hitler. Hitler would be like, "Hey man, I got a fucking 100 Jews I can send to him."
Jesus Christ.
I know it was a dark joke. It kind of made me laugh.
Very, very dark.
It is very dark.
Well, here's one thing you could do with the bodies of dead humans. You could fucking strip their bones out, you know, and fucking
You think you have
form
that
them
much
in
time?
weapons, and then
Just strip their bones.
stab. You gotta fucking
Make
fucking
a
make
weapon?
you
I
gotta
know, I
find
get
the time, dude.
You gotta
you fucking-
find the time. I mean, I
You gotta hide behind your brothers and fucking
Hey,
break this
man,
arm off and fucking get the
90 of you are
fucking
gonna
bone
die,
out.
but don't worry, I'll get you with this bone fucking shank I made.
Fucking bone dagger, dude.
Yeah, bone dagger.
Fucking stake him in the heart or whatever. I don't fucking know.
At that point, you just hit him in the neck or the throat, as long as it can bleed out.
Yeah, probably neck. That sounds good.
That's probably the most common. I
There
mean,
we
if you get
go.
him in the head, dude, that'd be killer. Obviously, like.
Dude, one gorilla in the eye, into the brain. But then you gotta get close.
Well, the thing is, hopefully, there's so many. I know.
To hold them down.
Well, also, I mean, how
You
much
hold them
energy
down.
do gorillas have? I mean, they don't have infinite fucking amount
True.
of fucking. So that, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the other argument I was reading for a little bit. It's like, if you wore him down, eventually you have to just, and he get some weak spots, you know.
Yep. Poor gorilla. I'm feeling sympathy for the gorilla that
Like, just
might
leave me
be
alone.
killing 100
Just leave me alone.
That's
so funny,
eating bananas in the jungle and he gets swarmed by 100 humans.
right? You know what? It probably wasn't that many, but I bet you fucking a bunch of gorillas killed a bunch of motherfuckers in the jungle and shit, just wandering. Like, you just wander through the jungle or fucking Africa or whatever, and all of a sudden, doof. Oh shit, I'm fucked. A few years ago, it was a question. The stupid question was, you as a grown man, do you think you could take out a wolf if you had to fight a wolf? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought about that the other day.
Did you?
It
would have to be lucky. I mean,
I don't know,
probably-
man. I don't think
could.
so.
I think I could
don't
if
know.
I got lucky, but it would be like one in like a million. Like more times than not, I'm thinking the wolf.
What would you have to do?
You'd have to
Gouge
get
out its eyes and then.
Well, no, I'm saying you have to get around its
I don't
throat
know.
because they don't have much like legs and stuff. They're not like cats and stuff. They don't have much flexibility. So like, if you were able to get it like in a chokehold or some sort of, like, you know, if it came and tried to bite it, come and rip your shit up, you just happen to, like I said, one in a million, just turn it, you know, flip it, you know, like a like kind of like a wrestling move kind of thing. And then again,
Reverse
you need to get his
timber
throat.
wolf.
You know, like I said, to me, it's all about choking it out.
Would it
That'd
be
be my guess.
Timberwolves? They weigh from 60 to 145 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can fuck up your arms.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying more times than not, I would probably lose. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but there's a world where, like I said, if this motherfucker charges at me and I just happen to like react right, and I just fucking happen to like turn my body, you know, it's all about the initial
wonder-
clash. Like if the dog or whatever wins the initial clash, where you're defending, you're fucked because it's gonna be so much faster, and on top of you, you're just done.
It's gonna be ferocious as fuck, though. I don't know if it would just like bite down. Like it's gonna be doing a lot of shit.
No, yeah, it's gonna try to clench, but you're gonna be fighting too. So I mean, your arm's gonna get torn the fuck up if you were to clench your arm and you were to actually break free. I mean, you're ripping off your whole fucking skin and shit. It's gonna be fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Like
the best bet is it bites down on your left arm and you're fucking able to beat the fuck out of it, or I don't even know.
Well, like I said, to me, my best bet is, like I said, if you just happen to react right, just choke it out.
Oh,
to
I
death.
don't even know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
That
if
is.
you were
prob-
to,
yeah.
if you were to time it, like I said, if the dog lunges at you, and you just happen to time it right and just fucking put it in a headlock and turn your body, get on top of the dog, so now you're weighing on it, and you can fucking choke it
Yeah.
out. That would be the way to do it. Like the easiest, like best way. But again, it's 1 in a million. You have to fucking time everything perfect. Like I said, if you go to do it and then the dog gets your arm now, like we were saying, now it becomes a whole different fucking. Now it's gonna win most likely because it's got me. Like I said, to me, it's all about that initial clash. Whoever gets that first high ground would probably win. Because if the dog,
Then we
goes
got
on
our
top of you-
legs on the ground. If it gets us on the ground, but
We have our
yeah,
legs, but
then
dude,
it's got
good
the
luck.
grasp.
That's what I'm saying. And the
Yeah.
thing is, anytime you move and stuff, it's gonna keep, it's gonna keep just nipping at your fucking face and your fucking. Because the thing is, your
Yeah.
arms are gonna be trying to cover your face because obviously your head and shit's most important, So I mean, because you're in a defensive zone at that time. Because they're so fucking fast.
Let's see. Do, 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 do. The Google AI is saying the man has a good chance.
Against a dog.
Size and strength, strategic thinking, a wolf. Same, they're
Yeah.
same species, obviously. Strong kick. We could break a wolf's ribs. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Strangle a
If you were to
wolf, like you said.
Okay.
Wolves have more stamina. We can run for long distances, but what
They're
what the
way
fuck is
faster.
running gonna do for us?
No, they're gonna catch you
Yeah.
in like 5 seconds. Dude, a dog. I bet a dog can probably run like 35 miles per hour.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess.
probably
I'm not gonna look
something
it up,
like
but-
that.
Oh, I'm gonna go wolf.
Greyhound would
Top
probably be
speed.
like
Top speed of a wolf. Oh, 31 to 37. Bam, I was right.
Yep, right there.
All right. Because I think a cheetah's like 67, and that's the highest. So I know they're not that high, but like, they're up there.
A
though.
skilled martial artist or someone with experience in hand-to-hand combat would have a significant advantage.
If Karate Kid did it,
What's the limit of, say, like Mike Tyson in his prime?
Well, Mike
Or
Tyson,
some
it's all about
MMA
getting the
fighter.
first hit again. Like if he doesn't get hit though,
Yeah.
again, if it gets on top of him, you don't know how to fight back. He's a puncher,
Yeah,
So like, if
but
you punch,
that's more entertaining. I want to see what a fucking puncher does to an animal. Because they're not really. I guess. Well, I mean, I guess they are kind of. Like blunt force does play a role in the animal kingdom.
sometimes it's more nip and tuck and like scrapes and shit though. Like you bleed out, or the
Yeah.
only time you get that is like if they got a lockjaw on your head or arm or something, then you're fucked. That's a different story for animals. I don't know, man. It's a lot of fun things to think about randomly. Because again, there's no right answer. So it's like, all right, let's guess.
This is what fucking the future is for. To fucking simulate this shit.
Well, we can just. Are we sure the simulators are actually right? Like we just watched one. Didn't obviously it wasn't a realistic one.
Yeah. But this, yeah, they could go way more nuts than
For
this.
fucking sure.
than
No, yeah,
those.
that's what I'm saying. People could legitly fucking do it.
Then you got to think like if you get like a sufficiently advanced simulator, are those nodes or whatever, because they would be that's like a programming word. Would they be conscious? Are you like torturing things just for knowledge?
I know that's what I was. That was my fake dark joke with Hitler. Like, we could actually find this out if somebody's willing to do it. And I know a guy that was willing to do it. like,
Oh yeah.
like it would. It's the Thanos thing. Like, in order to learn and do great things, you have to kill half the world. Like, is it good? Probably not. But he would. Like
It's like
the logic
if you
makes
could
sense.
fuse
So.
Hitler and Ramsey Bolton, like that's the kind of thing
basically,
you would
yeah.
get.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Ramsey Bolton. I mean, in a fake world, yeah, Ramsey Bolton makes perfect sense. A guy that's like, oh,
He'd
you
just
just want
be
to torture.
doing all
Because think about it, he fed his people to
crazy
dogs
shit.
all the time. So yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I get to feed people to dogs and learn things, or throw them to gorillas and learn things. Cool.
What have we got?
I mean, again, in Game of Thrones world, that's what Qyburn kind of was. Qyburn would do all this crazy shit, but it was all in the name of science. Like, is he bad? Kinda, because he's doing horrible things. But he's actually making the world better because he's learning a lot more science than anybody else would. So, I mean,
There's a 1v1 all units tournament annual revolt battle simulator on YouTube.
that's right. If we're gonna deport terrorists, are we gonna start deporting the KKK, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, the Nazis, the Aryan Brotherhood, and all this? Like there's so many things. Like, so I'm saying, like, you open a door up, homie. And honestly, it's always it's a simple thing. Like, would you want the other side to do this stuff? I'm guessing not. So like when they get power later, what do you think they're gonna do? Or like. Nothing good happens.
Dude, this guy's like legit Mike Tyson. I'm sorry, I'm watching this.
That's alright, brother.
Oh, dude, he almost took down this fucking like bowl of some, or like I don't even know what this animal is. Oh, dude, this gorilla just fucking yeeted. What the fuck does this gorilla have? It's like he's throwing bombs. Oh, the raptor took him out. Raptor would be fucking.
Raptor.
Oh, here's a
they're
man with a
fast
bat.
as fuck, too.
Raptor.
They're fast as fuck.
Dude, this man with a bat just killed a raptor. Oh no, he's taking on the gorilla.
With a bat, yeah, that's different.
Ooh,
I'm saying
yeah, he's got a bat. Yeah.
I'm saying once you add weapons,
Yeah.
it changes everything. Because humans have weaponry. Like we don't do that cool shit. Like.
Oh. Why is this guy with the bat beating the guy with a shield and an axe? What the fuck? Oh, this shit's goofy.
For sure, it's fun. It's like stupid fun.
Let me see here.
Because it also makes you think. Because you have to actually think about like what would the outcomes be. If you did it.
Where's my shit? Oh, here, right here.
That look good.
Yeah, polar bear is gonna fuck up a Spartan, or is this?
Who?
No, looks like looks like the Spartan's gonna win. Spartan beat a polar bear, but he's got a sword. Or is this a fucking Roman legionnaire?
I don't know. Let's see. It's
got
12:40.
spear and a
I gotta
sword.
try to head to bed, brother. I gotta work.
Okay.
I gotta do some errand shit before I go to work, so I gotta get up.
I got this job apparently, so
Yo, you got it now?
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I guess everybody else was fucking, I don't know, retarded or something. I don't know.
You'll be fine.
I mean, I wasn't like uber impressive, and I don't know.
Who knows?
It's
It doesn't
all.
matter. It's a chip in a chair. You got a shot. You can do stuff now. Eventually, like given time, you'll be able to do things. So that's all that matters. It's the first.
Yep.
It's the first simple block in your life of changing, of bettering everything. You know.
Yeah, and this job should be pretty easy, and it has some like overnight stays because I have to sometimes go out to like Fargo or whatever and do a route there.
Okay.
You know, and pick
Yep.
up
Yep.
old appliances. You know,
Yep.
so
I get what you're saying.
it's not a problem. I got a laptop. I got a phone.
3-hour drive. It's not that
Hey.
bad. 3 hours there and back. So I mean, how about this?
Yeah,
You did Michigan
but
with me.
I
bro.
like go down the border or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying you did
Huh?
Michigan. You did a Michigan run with me. That's probably longer.
Oh
than me.
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
that 18-hour day is longer than what we're gonna do. You're probably gonna do at any job. I would assume.
Mm-hmm. It won't be a problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
like,
won't have to work any weekends either. So like that's
Oh, it's a Monday through Friday. Yeah.
yeah,
Hell
8 to fucking what is it 5? I think.
What, like 5 to 8 or 5 to 3 or something like that in the morning?
8 in the morning to fucking 5.
Oh, okay.
Because they
That
have
way.
an hour
Yeah, lunch.
that they
and
give you for breaks.
15:30. Yeah. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, I have to drive a box truck. I've never done that, so
What's a
should be
box truck? Is it
interesting.
like a UPS? Not a UPS. Is that yeah, a UPS? Is that like a UPS truck?
It's probably like a big U-Haul, a bigger
Okay,
U-Haul.
like
It's
that,
got it's
okay.
26 feet.
Okay, yeah, it's like a big U-Haul. That makes sense. Can you start one Monday?
That's pretty big. I just Google it. I don't know. I'm gonna guess like a week from now, or I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a week,
Okay.
but you never know.
Nope. All right, I gotta head out, brother.
All right. Yep. Get out of here.
Peace out.
Later, dude.